Well, I mean,
Man,
maybe they'll get up early and watch the key plays.
I don't think that's good. Well, I will say this: listening around the state,
Mm-hmm.
that might be what a lot of people do.
Yeah, maybe.
Just key plays.
Yes.
I don't know why it gets under my skin. It just does.
That one in particular seems to bother you
Because I
more
don't.
than
I don't
most.
think you can fake college basketball.
It's really hard.
Like some other stuff you may be able to just kind of like skim and gloss through, but I don't think you can fake.
Is that you think that's the hardest one?
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
What's the easiest one to fake?
Football. People do it all the time.
People mostly watch football though, right?
Yeah. Although, I mean, you may be right though that we only really pay attention to what Nebraska's doing.
I do think that's
I
the thing.
still am a little about that.
I still think that's
You
the
want to
thing.
do that again?
Yeah.
No,
One more time.
I can't recreate.
Shane,
that.
did you cut that out?
Like that, like
Ugh.
No, not like like.
Ugh.
That was pretty good. I almost nailed that.
Yeah, he had on a Belichickian hood the other day that I think I want.
Yeah.
It had a football Herbie.
Nice.
He's got to get that stuff custom done.
He probably knows some people.
And it's weird too, because I will ask for stuff, and it's just like he skips over it.
Really?
Yeah, he doesn't answer.
Ignores it.
Yeah, just keeps on. Wait. So back to that long sleeve black tee.
I want the Maher pullover.
Yeah, that
the
thing
gray
was
one
nice.
he had the other day.
What was the little logo?
It was a little. I think it was just a little corn.
Was it corn? It was a red corn cap. Right?
Yeah, it was like a corn husk with, and it just said Nebraska under it.
Yeah,
I've never seen. It sort of actually kind of looked like this a little bit, almost.
Yeah,
different
it did.
colors.
I kind of like that. What's that under there?
This is a Nebraska Prospects.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of their hats.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the quarter zip.
Yeah, I bought this from from our brand goods guys. I needed some like more cold weather gear.
What? You like yourself in white.
I like that. I like wearing white.
Yeah. My mom thought you looked nice the other day at the Team Jack Awards. I don't know. I think she's looking at something different.
Blah blah blah.
So he looked nice. I said I'm not going to tell him because he enjoys putting on a suit.
That's true.
So I didn't want to. Really
I appreciate that though from
with that
from Mama Benning. That's nice of her.
She's a nice person.
She is a nice person.
Yeah. She asks a lot of questions, but she's a nice person.
What kind of questions she asking?
Nonsensical.
You gotta be nice to your mom. You help her out.
I'm extremely nice to her. I just saw her this weekend. I'm extremely nice to her. I'm taking her to the doctor. Yeah, good son.
All right.
Not super talkative, but
we gotta talk a little bit more.
You get things like
that's why I love you.
So is he going to have to share numbers again this year? Is he going to wear a different number? Like stuff like that. Hey.
Listen, she wants to know how to watch her grandson. She doesn't want to get confused with other people and other numbers. I get it.
Oh boy.
She's like, oh, is that Caleb? Why is
it should be a lot easier for her this year.
Is that Caleb? Is that Quentin Ives? What are we doing here?
Well,
I think he kind of likes 23.
You think so?
Yeah, I do.
Because what he was rocking. How many numbers he had since he's been there? It's been a couple, right?
3.
Because he was at 35 for a minute.
He had the fat kid number. Then he went 28.
You were mad about 35,
and then
now 23, maybe.
Yeah,
I
think he likes 23.
23 is a good number. I'll be honest. In order, I think I like 28 the least out of those.
Yeah,
I know you don't like 35. I don't know. I've just got. This is a weird thing. It's probably like an OCD.
I don't know how to turn my computer on. Is there such a thing?
It's possible that plug is not working and it's telling you need to charge.
Oh,
here, let me.
The old plug isn't turned on.
Yeah, give me that one right there. There's one underneath here.
It's not like I've never done a show without
right there.
Without
one of these deals.
Without
a computer
before. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you can wing it.
You seem very hurt right now.
I'm trying to be different than what everybody else is doing.
No, you got it right here. There you go.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see it.
There you go. Yeah.
Your thumb was down there, and I was like, why do you keep pointing to a place that doesn't have an outlet? You just meant the
entire strip.
Well, I can see that.
So plug it in.
Wow. Nice of you.
I'm just saying, on a scale of I'd go 23, best number. then 35, then 28. I've got like an OCD thing where like numbers just seem good or bad to me, and I don't like 28.
Yeah, you know my favorite number?
21.
Playing.
That's not a number, DB.
Do that. Spoken like a true Richard Head.
10, 11, 12.
That's a real like coach move right there. Like, I don't care what number you're wearing. Play.
Yeah. No, that's a dad move.
Well, it's hard to tell a difference sometimes.
Yeah, that's what he says.
I mean, especially, with your players, you try and take good care of them,
Mm-hmm.
There's some father figure type stuff going on there sometimes.
It's fine. Keep replicating at the start you've gotten off to this spring. We'll be fine.
Listen, there's a chance I'm going to be right about that one.
I know.
I know how much it's going to bother you.
That's what his coach told him the other day too. No, I'm prepared. I mean, Foreman has dibs.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because he said it from day one.
That's fine.
So
Foreman knew him a little.
I avoided him the other day.
Foreman?
But, yeah. Well, I didn't know it was him.
Oh.
But it's only a select few. But he like had a hood on.
Oh, so you couldn't see the hair?
I couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
And his head was kind of down, and he walks real slow, like he minds his own business.
Mm-hmm.
He just kind of looked like a regular, normal
6'3", 240-pound dude.
Well, he's in all black too, so he's
Okay.
got like a black Nebraska coat and black pants. I mean, he could have been staff.
How's that? He's still, I guess around the building, he's less of a giant human being, but like,
Yeah,
if
he's
just
not really a big guy anymore.
No, he's still like, if he's in a crowd of normies though, like he still stands out. Like he's a big guy.
Because he looks like Fred Sanford.
I was gonna go Frederick Douglass, but
Him too.
kind of got the,
You've never seen
I used to have to
Sanford,
walk to school, and I'm not doing that no more.
Did
So it's
Frederick
all
Douglass
good.
have a theme song? I didn't know that.
No, that's from Sanford.
Oh,
So-
okay.
So this, I'm really guessing my computer just isn't going to turn on.
You might just be out of juice. You might need to give it a minute. I don't know.
And God said, "Let there be light."
Boom.
Roasted.
Nailed it.
I did not nail it.
And then it went right back to sleep immediately.
All right.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Maybe it's selling crypto.
Wow. Too soon, Shane. Too soon.
I don't know. I'm searching for ideas.
Too soon, Shane.
Maybe he's selling crypto.
So listen, I would never do that to you, DB.
Sash, did you air high five Bill? I need you to grab the headsets. She's like, "Oh my gosh, people have to listen to my voice this morning. People have to hear my voice. I don't want to talk. It's too early." And where's Rico?
I think I can talk to you this way, can't
Oh,
I?
wow.
Oh,
Hey.
it's like God.
Let there be Sasha.
Hey, so did you air high five Bill about his X support find?
Yeah, I did. And he said, actually think Gemini, which is a search tool.
He is unbelievably savvy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to figure it out. So Gemini was a search engine, and he like
Powered by Google.
Powered by Google. So he found a way to communicate with the support team from X that takes you out of the hamster wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of the feedback loop.
It was incredibly efficient. From the time you sent me that email to me being up and running was 4 days, maybe?
I said, yeah, it was like 3 or 4 days. It was
Not very long.
Yeah.
almost immediate.
So if you guys want to figure out how to ever get your Twitter back, hire Bill.
He does have a lot of other things going on, so it might take him a minute, but
Yeah, and he may not need your money, but he'll take it and he'll put it into other things like Fantastic Studios.
That's true. If you guys want to build us some new stuff, that's cool.
Yeah, we're starting to get the shelf right.
I know. Yeah, I like it. We're filling out a little bit here.
So I'm interested in bobbleheads.
Okay, so we've got Gensel.
I can't find my Troy Palmau bobblehead.
We've also got Ken Harvey, which is a personal favorite of mine.
You big Ken Harvey guy?
I do love Ken Harvey. I felt bad for him because he was at Nebraska right before the like really good run with CWS and everything. So I was
quietly, he was an exceptional hitter.
Just an
absolute. I think he forgets law. He
gets lost a little bit.
I think he gets forgotten about it in baseball lore.
And
you think he can throw strikes?
If
he could throw strikes, he can come back.
I would say if he can throw strikes, he should take it to court and see if he's got any eligibility left. Although he did have a nice little run with the Royals there for a while too.
Yeah.
I was a big Ken Harvey guy. I appreciated him.
Speaking of which, we will talk to Kyle Crooks.
Yeah, that is at 8:00. We'll talk to Kyle Crooks, Husker Radio Network, and get a little baseball in, as well as maybe some spring football. Sprinkle it in there as well.
It's a lot going on.
And then
Perhaps the dagger in the 10th.
at 9:00 this morning, not whatever I said yesterday, we've got Will Backus from CBS Sports.
Shane's so terrified of you. He probably didn't cut that.
He
up,
did cut it. He sent it to me. Shane, you can play that if you want. It's okay.
I don't have it loaded.
It's all right.
You're too busy making bad jokes.
I don't have it loaded.
He did text me. And I forgot to reply to him that it was okay for him to play it.
You forgot?
Yeah. I was doing some other stuff,
You didn't have tennis yesterday?
Yeah, Monday's tennis night. Well, one of them.
Wow. How's your elbow?
It's fine, man. You got good technique. If you have good technique, you don't get tennis elbow, really.
Oh, tell that to the pros that get tennis elbow. I'm sure their technique is pretty sketch.
Most of them don't.
Oh, so they just wear sleeves for GP?
Well, I mean,
preventative measures.
The sleeve helps with a little inflammation and stuff.
Sponsoring Copper.
A little bit of they're big Brett Favre guys. And then at 9:00, we're going to talk to 9:00. We're going to talk to John Ledger.
Wow, you hammered that whole thing. You said Ledger and
I was
At 9:00.
I was flustered.
My man was shook. Don't worry, it happens to the best of us.
Ledyard. There we go. He was a good guest. I like talking to John.
Yeah, John was one of those guys that you couldn't fake if you knew what you were talking about or not.
Yeah, I think
John is very well versed, and he's particular, and he's not afraid to have his own thoughts.
Oh yeah, he'll disagree with your question or your premise, which is good. That makes for a good conversation.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. Maybe I don't want to pat ourselves on the back too much. I think it's hard to fake interviews with us.
Oh, just because of the line of questions?
Yeah, we ask some random stuff. Yeah. Like you got to be pretty well.
Well, a lot of times when you don't get those guys, and I'll try to preface it by saying, "Hey, man, I got to take advantage of the expertise."
Mm-hmm.
So we may rabbit hole you.
Yeah, we just gets a little out there. You're asking about random offensive line combine performances. Not everybody's built for that.
Yeah, I was fascinated by it. Was the O-line was my least favorite day.
Yeah, I didn't love it.
I just because you can't tell very much.
No, you can,
but you can't.
The drills for offensive linemen, I think, are probably the least helpful.
Yeah, they're more. These guys. Some of these guys are just crushing that sled.
Yeah. But that's not going to show up.
For some, I watched Darnell Washington do it a couple years ago for the Steelers, and before the Steelers drafted him, I was like, who is that big old guy just bullying that sled?
Yeah.
And then I watched him play, and I was like, oh, that's the same guy.
Sure. Yeah.
But
I do think there's people it does not translate for at all.
I think it was a good day. This is gonna be a great draft for day 2 and 3 linemen.
Okay.
I think
on both sides.
I think there's a lot of good quality offensive linemen that you can get later.
I think you might get some good defensive linemen later too.
Yeah.
I think day 2 especially rounds 2 and 3, but day 2 and 3.
You're thinking of like the Mesidor types that are kind of getting.
Yeah, I get the age thing, but I think there's going to be a lot of guys who I like their tape who, for whatever reason, age, arm length, measurables, whatever, didn't hit that first round thing that people like.
Yeah,
and they're just going to be sitting there for you in round 2 and 3, and some team, probably the Ravens because they seem to always make those picks.
Them and the Eagles.
Yeah, yes, it's going to be the Ravens and the Eagles just waiting there, be like, thanks, guys.
Yeah, just
with arms wide open, just getting every good player that had their arm was a half inch too long and their 40 time was 2/10 of a whatever too slow.
He said arms wide open.
Oh, gotta give my boys.
Well, I just fleeced the draft today. Seems my team is going.
And then at 9:00. That seems exactly how this is going to go. There's going to be really good players that for some reason NFL scouts talk their way out of.
Is it childish that I'm rooting exceptionally hard against somebody that I don't even know, like Minter? God, I hope you suck. Well, I don't even know you.
I mean,
I know.
I mean, that's like your rival, so no, like that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And I think he took a coach that Nebraska was going to have, but I think they have a better coach, so I'm very thankful for him.
It's like, hey, appreciate you.
No, I mean, I think Yelk's is a better fit. I think the players would tell you he's a better fit now than Coach Taylor.
Well,
I mean, Taylor was cut from NFL cloth, and I get it. Yelk's come from the NFL,
mm-hmm. But personality-wise,
it's vastly different.
Because Taylor personality-wise was kind of different than a lot of guys they have on staff.
Well, he's tough, man.
Yeah.
When Coach rules like dial it down a little, that's
like maybe we're doing too much.
Yeah. I was like, phew. And I don't usually mind stuff like
usually
that.
You're kind of more
but you got to give me a little sugar too.
Yeah.
You can't just.
It can't just.
I know people that just constantly complain and find the negatives, and they just aren't much fun.
It can't be all turd sandwich.
Do I do anything good?
You do need that good piece of cheese.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
I think the great ones complain about a hair in a shit sandwich.
I watched practice with her the other day.
Yeah.
She is like breaking down player evals.
Yeah.
I was like, you do that too.
I think she does everything.
Yeah. She was over there with the guru, Keith Williams.
I'm not going to lie. There's a part of me that, like, you could probably have her run a program and I'd probably be okay.
It's exceptionally bright.
Yeah.
Like, exceptionally
she'd figure it out.
Bright.
I'm a big fan.
And I don't remember what was exactly going on in Vegas that wasn't right, but it was late at night. And then I started the next morning in the lobby with, I call him C2, Clayton. It's kind of a right-hand man that does a lot of the scheduling, the heavy lifting behind the scenes of coordinating. And I mean, it was like 7:05. And they like got their cup of coffee. And I mean, they're going through it. I was like, dang, I used to think I wanted that job. Knock yourself out, Clayton.
It's like, yeah, I'm trying to turn in by about 7.
I mean, I think, and it was just, they were just trying to get something resolved from like 10 hours ago.
Yeah.
So they slept on probably 6 of it and then got after it. So
they're like, hey, let's go.
No, man, they're constantly tweaking. So I'm very much looking forward to the 28th.
Different way than Shane is constantly tweaking.
Yeah. I watched Shane, yes.
So I'm tweaking. I'm just tweaking, right? Tweaking.
The day before. No, it was last week because the little board that he uses now has like lights up like light bright. And he's kind of just staring at it, but he's not really touching it. And I was wondering if he was just enamored by the colors. Because, there's like some hues of pink, there's some yellow, some other colors. And
some orange.
Some orange.
Maybe some blue.
Oh, my gosh.
I get distracted by lights.
Did you hear I said that? Maybe some blue.
Here's orange.
So I'm tweaking.
You're like Dustin Hoffman. Come on, Raymond.
Definitely.
Maybe some blue.
I have no thoughts.
Yeah, I know. There's no question about that.
No, I don't even recognize what we're doing, Shane. I don't even know.
Just being him.
I'm so sorry.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Would you like to? I know it's March, but who do we have today?
Sierra.
Very good.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And Corey Brown. Lonnie Teasley.
Wow. Are you ever gonna get that?
Now it's in my head. Now, now it's like a thing.
You looked at me like this proud little dude that just made 8 free throws in a row, and I just look at you. You're like, no, that ain't it. No, it's not Corey Brown. Corey Brown.
Other line. Shoot.
Wow.
I got Sierra though. That counts for something.
Corey Brown.
I thought I nailed it.
Are you going to take a nap today?
I'm thinking about it. I was kind of looking at my schedule. This is typically a day where I would try and fit one in since we got the late Nebraska game. I think I'm going to.
Did you stay up for Arizona and Iowa State?
I did, yeah. So I probably need one today. So
do you know why? Do you see why I give pushback to separating Duke, Michigan, and then Arizona?
Yes. I think Arizona's just as good as
Arizona's just as good.
I think Arizona's closer to being alone with Michigan than they are being separated from Duke.
The thing that people can't get past with Arizona is the 3-ball.
Yeah.
And I'm just telling you, with a healthy Pete and that depth along the front line, it's not going to matter like you think.
Yeah.
That's a really good basketball team.
They also, I mean, you're talking, the teams we're talking about are 1, 2, 3 in KenPom defensive rating. And I know, like,
now Duke is elite.
Yes.
Defensively.
Absolutely.
They are so long on the wings.
Yes.
Very, very. The way that they annihilated Virginia and got them out of sync was
that Saturday?
Was terrifying.
Yeah. Because you like that Virginia team.
And Virginia's really good offensively.
Yeah.
Now, they got in some early foul trouble, and I think they panicked a little bit. But, I mean, Duke just suffered. Just what they did to NC State last night.
Yeah. Because NC State, I mean,
NC State's another, but it's another
they're not
team,
bad.
and they make a ton of threes.
Yeah, like they can fill it up.
They shoot and take a ton of threes.
And what they scored, like 57 last night?
Yeah, and at no point were you really like, oh, this could be
never
competitive.
threatened. Never threatened.
So it's just like, I don't know, you better be built a certain way.
It's not like people talk about Arizona like they're St. John's last year in terms of shooting the ball, and they're not.
I know.
Right? Like, I get they're not elite. They're not Illinois. They're not whoever else, right? But they're not St. John's last year. Like, that's how people like talk about the shooting for Arizona. That's just not the case. They're average, which is, with everything else they have going on, is probably good enough. Especially because it's not like they can't make jump shots outside of 3-point shooting, right? Like, Burries can get to his spots, and I don't have a problem with the way they play offense. Like, St. John's last year, I had a problem with the way they played offense. Like, that was a stagnant, disgusting offense. Michigan State this year, I have a problem with the way they play offense, right? Even though they can get into some stuff because of individual talent.
And you know what's funny?
What's that?
You know what Duke shoots as a team from 3?
Not off the top of my head, but I don't.
First of all, who shoots it better from 3, Arizona or Duke?
I would guess Duke, but not by a lot. I don't.
Interesting. Tell me more.
I don't view Duke, like, I don't think about Duke as like, oh, they shoot the lights out. Like,
Duke's about 35-5.
Yeah.
From 3.
I think Arizona's just below that, right?
35-3.
Yeah. Like,
we don't talk about Duke's lack of 3-point shooting when we talk about how elite they are in terms of them being separated from the pack with Michigan.
That's why, like, I don't think, if you're going to separate one, I think Duke, because you brought this up a couple months ago, I think, and it stuck with me. And I think you're right. I don't like their playmaking at the guard spots enough.
It's interesting.
Like, when
they're doing their thing, though, that's who that offense runs through.
Yeah. But
it's not off the bounce.
Like, end of game situations, and which I think
he does. He does run some good actions, though.
He's really good.
Because I've seen them. They did it to Michigan.
Yeah.
Like, in the second half off of really similar sets, when they got a couple of lobs, when he called a timeout, they were stressed. I think Michigan had cut it to like 2, and he got a timeout. And I think Duke went on like an 8-0 run. And I think they got 2 dunks out of the next 3 possessions.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's pretty good.
I only bring this up as someone who's watched this happen to other teams that he's liked in terms of how they played. A lot of times in March, those things start to go away.
Yeah.
Like, the ability to get to those things frequently. You saw it with Creighton until they got better guard play. This stuff just dried up in March, right? That's when they started getting, when they had the Marcus Zagorowskis and the Ryan Nemhards and the Stephen Ashworths at point guard, and the Tyshawn Alexanders and whoever else you want to put in that group. Like, they their ability to win in March was directly correlated for their ability with their guards to win out of system.
Yeah, but I will tell you,
offensively.
between Evans, Brown, and Sarr, boy, they will handcuff you.
Absolutely. They obviously defended a level that a lot of these teams that I'm talking about that have this issue don't ever defend at.
Do you feel different about Michigan without Kaysen?
Maybe from like a depth standpoint. I mean, I don't know. Like
I mean, they're built to sustain that kind of injury because they
Yeah.
are so deep in the backcourt, but he's pretty legit.
He is. I guess I haven't seen enough yet. Like I don't have a good sense of what they are without him to be able to say, oh, this is a big deal or it's not. I like him as a player. I just don't. I mean, he's like sub 20 minutes a game, isn't he? You know, so I just don't know what that equates to, what that translates to with a team that does have pretty good depth already. I don't know.
The number gets smaller every week of teams that I think can win it. So
all right, well let's do it. Where are we at? I assume Duke, Michigan, Arizona.
correct.
Florida.
Yes.
Illinois.
No.
Illinois is out of the club. We are down to 4. Houston.
Yes.
Purdue.
No.
Michigan State.
No.
Iowa State.
I will say yes.
Okay. UConn.
Yes.
Nebraska.
No.
Gonzaga.
No.
Texas Tech.
No.
Bama.
No.
I don't think Bama defends well enough. Vanderbilt.
No.
Kansas, I'm assuming no.
Nope.
Virginia.
Nope.
All right, I think we're out of the. You're not an Arkansas guy.
Nope.
So we're down to 7.
Yep, that's about right.
We're down to 7. I don't think I would quibble with any of those. I'm almost ready to kick Iowa State out.
So the thing you have to worry about with Iowa State is they're capable from distance to shoot it really well.
Yeah.
And they're good enough defensively to cause you problems. The thing with Iowa State is sometimes when they initiate offense, your point guard doesn't score it well enough to really threaten you. Mm-hmm. And Jefferson, who I absolutely love, is kind of into bully ball. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it has to kind of be right. The
offense has to come a certain way, and I don't know. I like teams offensively in March that can beat you kind of in multiple facets.
I keep,
and I don't know that
I keep Iowa State in the discussion.
Okay.
I mean, they can shoot it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, everybody not named. I mean, that starting lineup not named Lipsy.
Yeah. Yeah. I
don't know. I like Iowa State. I wasn't deterred last night. I get it. They've kind of hit this. And you remember, Arizona is now healthy. I mean, they get 2 frontline guys back,
and they're cruising.
And
after the back-to-back losses, they look really good.
You know, so
I mean, so Iowa State's lost 3 out of 4. They've got.
I think they've lost 4 out of 6.
1, 2, 3, 4 out of 7. 4 out of 7. Yeah. And then Arizona State coming up on Saturday to wrap up the season. That should be a win.
It's a couple of tricky games tonight.
Yeah. Okay. So what do we have tonight? What do we have on the slate tonight? We've got Nebraska, UCLA.
Yeah.
What else do we have here? I'll bring it up. I don't know. The last couple times I've watched Iowa State, I'm just a little offensively. I'm a little concerned.
Alabama, Georgia, I think is
a little tricky. Yeah, Bama's only a 1.5 point favorite, so that would lend itself to that.
Arizona State is a type of team. They're not great, but they can play. They can deal Kansas fits. I imagine that line's pretty tight.
Arizona State, Kansas,
4.5, 5 maybe
5.5.
Yeah, see, that's kind of tricky.
Yeah,
for where you think Kansas is versus Arizona State as a program.
Yes, I am. I mean, I think Kansas is really not playing that well right now, so that doesn't necessarily surprise me.
Hey, you want bad line of the night?
Yeah.
What would you? Yeah, you probably have it open.
Well, I've got a couple of them in front of me, but I won't scroll if it's not directly in front of me.
Vandy plays at Ole Miss tonight.
Okay, that one is not in front of me.
Okay, Vandy or Ole Miss is 4-12 in the conference, 12-17
I'll say
overall.
they're bad. Yeah.
Vandy's top 25 in the country.
I don't think they're playing particularly well, but yes.
What would you make that line?
Well, I already know it's fishy, so I'm I'll try and eliminate the bias from the question. Off the huff, I would have made that probably pretty close to double digits, probably 9.5.
It's 6.
Yeah, that's a little, that smells.
Yeah, real bad.
Oh, it's a little,
real
a
bad.
little stanky.
So I'll be curious to see if
That's some day old fish right there.
you know, and if it's anything like the rest of this stuff. I mean, some teams in the top 25 are inexplicably going to lose tonight.
How you feeling?
I mean, Nebraska's a dog.
How you feeling about Nebraska being a 1.5 dog?
I mean, given UCLA's success, I talked about this a couple weeks ago. I mean, they don't lose at the Pauley.
Yeah.
And they're coming off a bad loss.
Yeah. I don't love that.
I don't either.
I'm very, and you make fun of me for it in football, probably because there's more time in between games. But I really don't like teams that I think are at least somewhat capable coming off of bad losses.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like
that's a bad loss.
Ken Palm does have Nebraska by 2 here. So he's 3.5 points different from what the line is. I was going to check the so UCLA gets 3.5 points for home court
Early.
So I mean, Ken Palm would have this at 5 or 6 if it were neutral.
5 or 6 UCLA.
No, 5 or 6.
No, Nebraska. Because you just said they get 3.5 for.
Yeah, and he's got them at 2. He's got Nebraska winning by 2. So he's got Nebraska as a pretty clear favorite here at a neutral site outside of Pauley.
What do you think the watch goes like today for Nebraska for a 10 o'clock tip?
What do you mean the watch?
For Husker fans.
Oh, I mean, I think
are they getting a cat nap in, or are you just going to power through it?
I'm definitely trying to get a cat nap in. I don't know. Like, this is under normal circumstances, no judgment here. I think this would, in normal basketball years in this state, I think this would maybe be a first halfer and you see what happened in the morning. I don't think that's the case this year in this game, so I'm not really sure how people are going to approach it.
And Nebraska can, I think, for all intents and purposes, lock
up the 2.
Yeah.
In the Big Ten. Yeah. I think you're right. I think because they're pretty close anyway. I think a win here gets them the 2 seed, if I understand the scenarios correctly. That's a big one.
AJ, he said, I was sleeping at the regular time and record and watch first thing in the morning. I don't know, man. How you go to bed?
Yeah, I'm not. I also, the rewatch first thing in the morning for what we do, like, is just, for me, not an option.
No.
That's too early. I'm not, because I'd have to, I mean, minimum, I'm getting up an extra hour early. And that's
plus, you never know what random thing I'm going to ask you if you saw either.
Yes. So, like, I can't skip, right? Like
I'm asking Austin the clip. Chad Baker-Mazaro being bent over.
Yeah. Just like gassed at the end, at the end of the first half.
He's like, hey, do you know about when that was? And I was like, well,
didn't play in the second half.
Yeah, it's after the first TV timeout.
I knew it was under 10. And so it didn't take me super long to find. I knew it was like we were getting towards the end of the first half.
I felt bad. I was like, yeah, I don't even know if does he want that to be in his job description? Or should I do that and just send it to him? But I feel like if it has to go from me to him and skip my device, I don't know if that's easier or harder for him.
Yeah, there's also, for whatever reason, he is better at finding quality versions of that stuff than I am, because I'll like have to take a picture of it off my TV, because YouTube TV won't let you screenshot.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Off the phone.
Which, by the way, at some point they have to fix, right?
I think it's a.
You can take a screenshot off of anything, almost.
I think it's a right thing.
My online banking is like, no.
Yeah. I think it's the same type. Like they do it on purpose for the online banking and I think for YouTube TV.
Yeah, and I guess I prefer that
for
more than
the
not for
banking,
the banking
for sure. The YouTube TV thing's annoying. It's like I paid for this service. Let me take a screenshot.
Yeah, HBO, help me out.
This is annoying. I don't want to have to go take a picture of my television screen.
Yeah, I'm not good with the old phone anyway because I get the bright spot and the light spot. Although when I'm trying to figure out how to work my microphone because my voice text doesn't work right now, so I just was getting in my phone and I was like, oh, there's lots of things I can do to take better pictures.
Oh yeah, you hadn't like played with the camera at all?
No,
I haven't really either. To be honest, I don't. I just open the camera thing. And it's like, here we go.
Look at some of the stuff that people do with their app. Like at the bowl game, Brandon did a lot of work from his phone. Meyer, and I'm like, how is this such good quality?
That's what like half the stuff that we put out is like people on their phones. Like we've got nice cameras and stuff.
Super particular. I mean, but he and Sasha are cut from kind of the same cloth. I mean, he's getting it down to like, and it's just his phone.
Yeah. No, but you can do some crazy stuff.
It's like, do I need to be an Apple guy or just better with what I'm doing? That's above my pay grade. I don't have the patience.
You know how I feel about that. Shut up.
Come on, man.
You need to hear from me.
Well, I mean, it would be an awkward show if you didn't hear from me.
Oh. What sort of narcissist talks to himself? Does Kenny talk to himself?
I don't know. I think a lot of people in chat kind of talk to themselves a little bit, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I do. Although it's two completely different people.
Well, yeah, you got Kenny in there.
Yeah.
Got to be careful with Kenny.
I suppressed Kenny all week.
That's probably for the best. You don't want to let him out too often.
No.
Not trying.
You funny man.
Not trying to do that.
You're such a funny man.
Let's take a quick break here. We'll make Austin happy. Take a break in the first hour, and we'll come back here. Does
he prefer that it's like 30 and 30 because we're on the back half?
That's all right. I think it's better if there's any at all.
One better than none.
Yeah. I think he can only ask for so much at this point.
So I got to tell him slow motion is better than no motion.
Exactly. That's DB. I'm Ravi, Lulla. Austin says the show's much more fun when I'm happy. I feel like he's, holding us hostage here a little bit.
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
We'll be right back. More Hurrdat Sports Live.
Yeah, so we finished, Thursday practice and we flew up afterwards. It's really different. It used to be, you just really went there to support your guys. A lot of teams might have questions. the feedback I've gotten on Emmett, just how well he's interviewed. The feedback I've gotten on Deshaun from the Senior Bowl, how well he's interviewed, I think is really good. As you see scouts and personnel directors and GMs, able to give some insight into who they really are. If there's anything that's out there that maybe is negative, you can hopefully dispel it, because sometimes that happens. So it was great to be there and see them. It's different now in that it used to be I would go every time I've had a player in it. I've always tried to go and do those two things. Now you probably spoke with 30 agents on Thursday night and Friday during the day, because they represent high school players now, and so it was a business trip for us. Pat Stewart went, Keith Williams went, Logan Holgerson went. Probably could argue we could have been up there for 3 days. Excuse me, just with the amount of guys that we who represent pro players and also represent college players, able to get a lot of meetings with those guys, just not only for this year, but for years moving forward.
Well, I'd hate to think where we'd be without him. And I've said this before. We've had transfers come in, guys for 1 year, some for 2, but most of those guys were surrounded by guys that had been in our program, and so they didn't have to come in and necessarily lead from the jump. And these guys are trying to figure out our offense, our defense, the names of their teammates. You had all that going on, and they've done it. They've done it with a smile on the face. They've embraced it. And Josh, to Nick's point, with everything he was going through, you'd have never known it at practice. You'd never known it in the locker room, because he was a rock for those guys, and showed up and went to work, and obviously proved how important his teammates in this program and this university are to him. So it's they've been absolutely a thrill to coach. They really have, and there'll be guys I'll be in touch with the rest of my life.
To Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi, Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. Don't forget the place to be wherever you want to watch your March Madness. Listen, it needs to be at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. All right, that's the place to be. The best TV setup, the best food, and honestly, you might get to hang out with some of these fine folks. We usually go over there at least one of those days as a team, and hang out for the NCAA basketball tournament. So come hang out, Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, and, get some food.
The only downside,
what's that,
to being here?
Yeah.
I can't see the specials now.
That's true. It's true. We might need somebody to,
although do they post them online?
I think so. I know we post them on our social, on the Sports Bar social page.
All right.
At Hurrdat Sports Bar.
Oh, I follow them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can do those things now.
Well, yeah, actually, you have your Twitter back.
Hey, for some reason, I didn't. So whomever hacked the account must have blocked Kugler. That was the craziest thing ever. Kugler was like in the original 4 people that I followed.
That's actually really funny. I don't know why.
He's like he's one of the first 4.
Yeah.
Well, he did that tweet like yours.
Yeah.
He was thanking you for the crypto. So maybe the guy got mad about that.
He was a little. I mean, he was a little snarky about your crypto investments.
Do you think Kugler's gonna support me at all? Not publicly, anyway.
I would say privately, sure.
It's important to make fun of me. No, so I had to look, and I'm like, gosh, is anybody else blocked that shouldn't be blocked?
I'd say, did you have to go through your blocked list?
No, I just unblocked him. Nobody else has said anything. I don't block people.
Yeah, it's true. I'm trying to figure out who my very first follower or my very first follow was.
Yeah, he's definitely.
I don't follow that many people, so this shouldn't be that hard.
How many people do you follow?
It's under 400.
Really?
Yeah.
No wonder you don't know anything.
Well, my very first follow, it appears.
Wow, and I think 900 is too many.
I think 900 is too many also.
You only follow 400 people?
392. 392.
Man, I think I've just been too nice to people.
So it's a little bit of an OCD thing.
Well, my thing is I have to keep it under
1,000.
Yeah, I cut people all the time just to stay under the number.
Mine is I want a 10-to-1 ratio.
I have to clean up some of the Nebraska staff.
Oh, it's true. Some of those people got out.
Yeah.
Here.
And one I'm mad at, so I'm definitely not following that dude.
One of them what? You're mad at?
I ain't really rocking with him.
Get out of here.
Oh, he's just doing too much.
Yeah, I like that's true. Zach's I'm making sure my ratio is good. But I just passed, I know this is not a big number for you, but it's a big milestone for me. I just passed 5,000 followers recently, so I can add another 100 and I'm okay.
Oh, there you go.
I'm a 10-to-1 guy. I want to keep my ratio.
Did they like
good.
your hot basketball takes?
Listen, I thought the basketball takes were great. Can I just tell you? I'll tell you immediately and forever how to win an argument with me. And DeMarinis did not do it right.
So,
and I think you
have to set it up though, because if they didn't see your social,
sure, yeah. So on Hurrdat Sports,
we might be able to recreate. I mean, we might just be able to pull it.
Yeah,
up.
we might be able to grab it real quick.
It is fascinating.
Austin, the top 5 Nebraska basketball starting lineup. If you can find it real quick. So I did this video of the all-time starting lineup. So I tried to be positionally faithful. I tried to,
little Steve Perry.
I tried to put it faithfully.
Run.
Yeah. Journey. So I tried to be faithful to positions. I tried not to fudge too much on the positions here. And I tried to put together a team that made sense to me in terms of could possibly actually play together. So that's important because
you're just doing way too much.
Here's part of that.
I tried to do this so they could play together.
Shane didn't make the list. You don't have to sound like that.
Oh, fudge.
Here's the deal. I put this team together, and I think for the most part, there's only one issue that people have. For the most part. And
wait, does AJ have it ready to go? I need a thumbs up from either Sash, Liquid Face.
He's in a different room, so I don't know that.
Well, clearly, this is not like I'm in back being interviewed. I can see that it's a two-way.
Give me that thumb one more time, Shane. Down. Okay.
Dude, your finger, those things are so small.
It's the window.
It looked like a nub.
It's the lighting in here.
I'm sorry. I feel bad.
It's the lighting.
I mean, the dude was like this. How are we supposed to be able to see that little sausage, that little Vienna, that little smoky?
Hey, I'm tripping.
How does AJ not have? Don't we just have that in it's ours?
I know, but he's got to load it up into the system.
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
I don't either. That's why I'm not saying anything about how hard or easy it is. I have no idea.
You just imagine the dude will come in here and just talk reckless.
Yeah.
Be like,
he's going to burst through that door like the Kool-Aid man.
And yesterday, what day was that? He was mad about the camera. He stormed in and stormed out.
Yes, Austin. It was posted yesterday.
Shoot, I want to. Okay, just go through it.
So
it's better in your own words because you did try to explain what I think.
Basketball's all-time starting 5. With Nebraska having a historic season in men's basketball this year, I wanted to go through and see who the top 5 starting players in Nebraska history would be. And I'm going to start off pretty easy at point guard. It's got to be Tyronn Lue. Only played 3 seasons at Nebraska, but he's top 10 in scoring and top 5 in assists in Nebraska history. Led him to the 1996 NIT title and was a first-round draft pick in the NBA. Tyronn Lue is a no-brainer. Shooting guard, I'm going to go out on a limb here a little bit. You probably think it's recency bias, but I think I'm going to go with Keisei Tominaga. I know there's other guys with better resumes, but I think Tominaga reinvigorated this program and honestly may have saved the Fred Hoiberg era in Nebraska basketball. He led Nebraska basketball to their first NCAA tournament appearance in a decade. And honestly, without that, I don't know if we're having the season at Nebraska that they are right now with Fred Hoiberg still at the helm. I think Keisei Tominaga saved the Fred Hoiberg era. So for that, he makes my list at shooting guard. Small forward, this one's pretty easy. Eric Piatkowski, one of the best shooters in Nebraska history, averaged over 20 points per game his senior year, just an all-time great Nebraska basketball player. For power forward, I'm going to go a little bit into the Wayback Machine for you here. Andre Smith. He was the 1981 Big 8 Player of the Year, Conference Player of the Year from Nebraska, top 6 all-time for Nebraska in scoring and rebounding. Great player, Andre Smith. And last but not least, arguably the greatest player in Nebraska basketball history at center, at any position, but he is our center, is Dave Hoppen. All-time leading scorer for Nebraska, only player in Nebraska history to score over 2,000 points. He's top 4 all-time in rebounds at Nebraska as well. Dave Hoppen is the unquestionable choice at center. There's your Nebraska all-time starting 5. Who did I miss? Where did I mess up? Let me know in the comments.
Listen, mostly people are only mad about Keisei, right?
I'm surprised you, and I love Pike, but I thought you may get some pushback on Pike too.
I really didn't. There was a couple people that wanted Sanford in there.
Now that's recency bias.
It is. And listen, I was like, hey, like if he comes back next year, does the same thing again, he probably bumps Keisei. Like that's because I can fudge either Price or Piatkowski as a shooting guard. I don't feel great about it, but I feel like I could do it. But I didn't really get any pushback on Piatkowski. I didn't really get any pushback on Andre Smith. You can't really push back on
I think
Hoppen.
Andre Smith may be Sip's favorite player in Nebraska basketball history.
That's interesting.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So we did a draft. It was myself, Sip, Jacob Bigelow, and one more. We did this over the air. And you got to take 6.
Okay. You guys do like a round robin?
Yeah, and I don't think Sip took anybody after 2000.
When was this draft done?
Shane, when was that? Probably 5 years ago, maybe?
I was going to say 17 or 18.
Okay, so
it's been a minute,
but it's a while ago.
I think it was before COVID.
So, I mean, especially you're probably only picking from about one team if you're going from 2000 to 17, 18. Like there's not a ton of guys in that.
I wish I still had my list because we put the list
to see
Twitter. And I think my team, it was either me or Jacob.
Yeah.
Bigelow. Who I think the Twitterverse liked. It was Twitter back then. But yeah, Sip, Andre Smith might have been his first pick.
I mean,
and we serpentined it.
Conference Player of the Year, like that, he was phenomenal. I'm not going to pretend like I went and tried to find some highlights while doing this video on everybody. But mostly on some of the older guys had to go off of stats. He was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like severely underrated. A guy you don't hear talked about in Nebraska basketball history very often. Like really, really good player.
So I think
he won Conference Player of the Year. How many guys
No, I understand.
Like
I think one of the best two-way players that we don't talk about is probably Cookie Belcher.
So I'm going to full disclosure here because that's the one people killed me on was Keisei Tominaga. Eric Strickland wasn't my second pick. It was Cookie Belcher. If I went with normal logic and just picked who I thought the best shooting guard was in Nebraska history, I'm a Cookie Belcher over Eric Strickland guy. And that's not hating on Strickland. I loved Cookie Belcher.
Yeah.
Like that was just my guy. I liked those teams. I liked that late 90s era. Like I liked watching Cookie Belcher play basketball. But I think I feel like I laid out my logic pretty, like you could disagree with it, but I'm pretty clear on why I picked Tominaga.
No, I understand.
Right.
You were getting cooked. And I was like,
Here's where Dean Marinas misses me with that, right? Is I don't tell you how to win every argument with me ever. You need to start with the points I made are valid. Whether you agree, disagree, or not. If you can't even acknowledge that the point I made was valid, I'm not hearing it from you. I'm just not. Because I'll be like, I can be wrong plenty, but there's generally some validity to what I brought to the table. So if you can't acknowledge that, we're not having a real conversation. If you can't acknowledge that Keisei Tominaga likely saved the Fred Hoiberg era and was a cultural phenomenon the likes of which Nebraska basketball has rarely, if ever, seen, and that's important to a program that is rarely nationally relevant, then we can't have a conversation. If you want to be like, I get that, but it doesn't outweigh the career of Cookie Belcher or Eric Strickland, cool.
So
but if you start with
those were the next. I don't know if those would have been my.
I think my next two were Cookie Belcher and then Eric Strickland at shooting guard. That's probably where I would have gone. But Cookie Belcher was definitely my number two. Like, it was no question about it because I love Cookie Belcher. No questions asked.
Are you going to be able to shoot it well enough? You, Pike, probably?
So that's part of the reason I went Keisei also. Like, I wanted a little bit more shooting.
You don't give up some defense.
Well, yeah, sure. That's why I got the big guys. And listen, you put Lou on there, man. You can lock him up.
Shane, if Nebraska, it probably is not dependent on if they win or not. And I know we got to get to Kyle, and he's kind of a stickler for time. But I want to grab Kerry Cohorn coming up here too over the next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
On to talk hoops. He's got some pretty strong opinions. Let's get to my man.
All right, we've got Kyle Crooks coming up next. We'll take a real quick break. We'll be right back. Hurrdat Sports Live.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, there are several metrics that are utilized to determine, one's status for being into and seeding in the tournament. And I think that one of the major ones is the net rankings. And you can't argue with the fact that, that is a ranking metric that takes into account not just wins, losses, all the such, but where you played the games, offensive efficiency, defensive efficiency. And I think that there's really no way to skew that ranking. And so I think it shows a lot about what this team has been up against, playing the best teams in the country and a lot of them on the road and being right there in one possession and two possession ball games. I think this team has proven to be competitive against teams that are going to be, hosting games in the NCAA tournament. And I think that's what they're looking for down the stretch is really competitive games.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
0-1 Hull swings and a high drive down the left field line. If it's fair, it might be gone. This one is over the foul pole for a two-run home run. It's flown out, ribby double, and grounded out to third. Also reached on a fielder's choice. Next to him. Oh, that's a deep drive. Left field, off into the overnight. It's gone. Three-run bomb from Chesky. It's now 9-5 and perhaps the dagger in the 10th.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Male Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by Kyle Crooks from the Husker Radio Network. Kyle, how are we doing this morning?
I'm good. I didn't think I'd be hearing myself screaming in the morning when the calls.
Well, good morning, sunshine. You're up early.
I know. When Shane texted me, usually I assume your 9 a.m. is full this morning, but he usually says, 9 a.m. That's about as early as I go. But for you guys, 8 a.m. I'm up and at 'em. Boy, you got me up early. I'll tell you what. You're lucky I like you guys.
Hey, can I be honest? Because I know you the way I do, I blew up the screen. I thought it was a typo.
For being at 8 o'clock.
For being at 8. I legit thought it was a typo because we kind of laid out this week, last week on what we wanted to do. And I was like, there's no way Casey wants to do an 8. Like that was what I was thinking in my head. So I think people think you're kind of joking, but
no, I want full credit for waking up this early, having an alarm set for 7:30 a.m. I want all the credit in the world for doing this spot right now.
Did you grab a coffee yet?
No, probably right after this. So I'm running about, and most times energy wise, I'm running at about like 65% and probably have like 36% energy right now. So
that's that people have no idea how serious that is. I'm like 8 o'clock. We make wagers on whether you're up or not in our group text because I forget that our schedules are flipped, right? You weren't. I mean, you guys were at the studio. I mean, Sports Nightly got done at 8 last night, right?
Yeah. We had Bolt last night. We had Fred last night. I had to go into Omaha. I did a podcast too. So like, we had a lot of different things. I have to interview the president this morning, so I think it was a good thing to get up early anyway. So you caught me on the perfect day. But Sports Nightly, man, we got every sport we're talking about. We got a million interviews every day, so we gotta be up and at them pretty early nowadays anyway. So it's all good.
All right. So if we were all gonna chip in and have like, what's your go-to brand of coffee? I know you're pretty simple on the road, but what would be like your go-to brand of coffee?
So what's funny is you want to talk about simple. We had a Dunkin' Donuts right next to our hotel in Auburn, Alabama, and to me that's all I need.
Yeah.
Dunkin' Donuts, coffee, cream and sugar. I got the K-Cups that are always Dunkin' Donuts original. Dunkin', if you're listening, maybe we can get me an NIL deal. I don't know how that works, but that's probably my go-to. It is just sort of like a Dunkin' Donuts cream and sugar type of guy. I do a cold brew too. I dabble.
Yeah.
I dabble a little bit in cold brew. Starbucks, vanilla sweet cream kind of cold brew. But that's like once every 3 months type. You gotta earn that. So
what'd you think about Auburn? I have a weird history with Auburn where the best player probably from my high school, Greg Olson, played at Auburn. His son played at Auburn. Clark Preble, another guy that played at Northwest, played at Auburn. What'd you think of the setup in the facility?
Oh, it's beautiful, man.
Fellas that have played played there.
Yeah, it's an awesome ballpark. So they had about, I'd say 6,000 each game. I think their cap for their ballpark's about 7,100 or something like that. But it was right around there for all 3 games. And Saturday they had hoops too, so there was a lot of different things going on. But it was pretty much full all 3 games. The 30-foot high wall out in left field is a unique part of a college baseball park, right? So, if you're Will Jeske and left, there's a lot to navigate. I thought there'd be more strikes off that wall over the 3 games that we had. And then you go out to left center, just to the right of that wall, it kind of juts out. It's kind of like a triangle. A couple of guys had some home runs taken away there. And then, it's cool the way they set it up, right? So they have monster seating. I call it the monster. It's the kind of a Fenway setup, which you have fans that sit on the 30-foot high wall. You have the students that are out in right center that are kind of giving it to the center fielder and the right fielder, which I think that's the unique part of college baseball that you don't get in the bigs, right? One, you get the guys that are kind of flashy, like their leadoff hitter, Bristol Carter, got on Ben's nerves a lot. 3-game series, just because he's a little bit extra. He's always the whole slide down as he rounds first. He's got the 3 of the buttons undone. You got the chains on and like that, but that's called, you got the students out in right field that are kind of giving it to your players. So I think that's the element of college baseball that is just different. that is ultra unique that ballpark kind of brings. But it was really, really cool.
So, I mean, obviously the story of especially the last two games, but I think the entire series for Nebraska was the pitching where they really struggled, not just, I mean, first and foremost, throwing strikes and obviously getting guys out as well. Like, what, as you're kind of going through this series, they get the extra inning win, first one, a super exciting game. Like, what's going through your mind as you're kind of watching this series develop from a pitching standpoint from Nebraska compared to what you know their arms can be capable of versus what we ended up seeing?
Yeah, we talked to Will yesterday on the show, and the one thing I said is, you got a lot of guys where the stuff is real, man, but you just got to locate. I mean, that's from the land of the obvious. We saw Jay Sayola a couple times this weekend, right? That's upper 90s. He's just we saw, but there was a handful of guys that there was a positive there. Like, they needed what they got out of Kevin Monell in the worst way on Sunday, who came in, for those that don't know, he was their, the guy that was anointed as their closer coming into the season, coming over from Mississippi State, kind of a, he's been well-traveled in his college career, but he's got a plus slider. Guys just couldn't hit him in the fall. He was untouchable. And first couple trips to the mound, just could not locate, could not throw strikes. And you can't have a closer that can't throw strikes, right? Especially when you're put in the grease and things are kind of hot and tight. And if you can't throw strikes, then you can't be in that role. So they're still trying to figure some things out in terms of who goes where. Jay Sean Unger, I think, was another guy that pitched a massive 2 1/3 on Friday. That maybe could factor into, if you have to sort of anoint a new closer, that could be another guy as well. Ryan Harrihill, I thought, was impressive in what he had done. I'll tell you this, their upside is much better than what we saw on Sunday, right? At least you hope it is. I mean, you had guys throw 18 pitches and 15 of them were out of the zone. I haven't seen anything like it covering baseball, and Ben the same way. I mean, it took a lot for, I'm sure, the guys, the coaches in the dugout, especially for us up in the booth, to keep it together, because it was just a tough watch. Whether it was the guys have hit way too many batters this year. And DB, you know this better than anybody. And baseball is your sport, and you're a great baseball player. You need length out of your starters.
Yep.
Right? Ty was probably the best of the three, and he didn't give you a whole lot on Friday night. And Yasa, sort of the command issues that have been there early in his career were there. And then Blackowitz didn't give you much on Saturday.
I felt so bad for him, KC, because if you turn the double play, the run bomb, it doesn't happen. And I have to be very careful not gatekeeping the sport, but I do think baseball is one of those rare sports where the butterfly effect is a lot more. It's a lot more clear.
Yeah, it's very much more tangible than
I mean, you turn the double play and the 3-run home run doesn't happen, and you maybe feel better about that because you had answered offensively right previous before that. So I'm just like, man, you start to do the routine a little better, then it doesn't escalate on you. But to your point, when you can't throw strikes, you don't even give yourself a chance. I mean, that's just like turning the ball over in hoops, right? You don't even get it up on the glass.
That's what absolutely drove Ben up a wall, right? You think about some of their runs this weekend, especially on Saturday and of course on Sunday, is the thing I like about this team and what we saw on Friday night, what was one of the greatest games I've ever had a chance to just sit and watch and be a part of as a broadcaster, is their ability to respond pretty quickly, right? You're down 8-0 at one point on, Saturday. You make it 8-4, have the tying run to the plate in the 5th inning. You're down 5-0 or 4-0 on Friday. You're down 5-2. You tie the game in the 8th. You take the lead for the first time in the 10th inning. Offensively, they're much better, I think, than last year. Especially, they had the issues offensively to start the year last year. They're in a much better spot. I think Dylan Carey he's off to an incredible start. you get Jet Buck going, you get some of these other guys going, and I think the offense is something you're not going to have to worry about. And I truly do like this pitching staff. I think you got some guys on the weekend. I think they're still figure out Sunday. Cooper Katsky, he'll start today against Omaha. I think he very well could be the Sunday starter when it's all said and done. He was the MAC pitcher of the year last year at Miami of Ohio for a reason. His stuff is legit. His mound presence is legit. I think you got a lot of guys in the bullpen that are up for the task. That again, the stuff is real, and I think this is a really darn good baseball team. That again, taking one out of Auburn, I probably would have signed up for that going into the weekend.
Yeah, he's a big strong kid too. Funny story, Casey. His grandpa was my PE teacher.
Really?
At Omaha Northwest. And the last time I saw Katsky, he was taking snaps at Burke in 2023 in the quarterfinals of the playoffs when we played West Side. And he left right after that to go back to playing baseball back in his hometown. But I think you'll like his competitiveness too. You know, he's a big, cock-strong kid, and he'll compete. Because I think for this team, at least historically, middays have been their bugaboo, or midweeks, I should say. So, I mean, to try to establish some sort of consistency, getting wins in these midweek games is critical, especially coming off this weekend. You want to settle your staff down at least.
I'll tell you what, starting Katsky on in a midweek game, that puts you in a pretty good spot right there to have a conference pitcher of the year as one of the guys that's going to start for you at a midweek. And then I believe Will said yesterday Price Bender is going to start on Wednesday against South Dakota State. And then you're on a Big Ten play this weekend, right? Michigan State opening weekend, they took the lasting memory of doing the prep on Louisville. They took 2 of 3 from nationally ranked Louisville to start the season, right? So you're not getting any gimmies to start Big Ten play. But this is a team that has a lot of expectations within conference. I know, Will was definitely he was angry after Saturday and Sunday, probably even more angry after the games they let go in Arlington against Louisville and Kansas State. I just think he knows how good this team could be. And just watching them through 10 games, I think he's dead on, especially what we saw in Arizona, right? Those are some good teams they played at opening weekend, and they beat up a bunch of them. So, I think they know what they got.
Kyle, when you're looking at this team and we've obviously kind of went over a lot of the issues with pitching, whether, obviously the throwing strikes are an issue, the longevity out of the starters is an issue. If you had to pick one that was easier to fix, would it be, say, getting consistently, I'm not even going to get crazy here, let's say consistently getting 5 innings out of your starter, or knowing that your bullpen would be able to consistently throw strikes? I know that sounds like overly simplistic, but I really do think one of those two things would go a hell of a long way.
Yeah, I think just from playing the numbers game, right, you'd probably say, just because there's so many variables with a bullpen, there's so many different guys, so many different arms, I'd probably say I'd put my money on the weekend guys figuring it out. I obviously wasn't here, but you look at Ty Horn and what he was able to do, and the back half of last season, and taking the mantle as the Friday night guy. I think he has the confidence to be that Friday night guy. Certainly has the stuff to be that guy. Again, he was going pretty well there for a bit against Auburn until just kind of the train got off the tracks. And then I saw what Yasa did in his first couple starts, right? And for whatever reason, it just didn't translate to – Auburn's a really good lineup, right?
Yeah, especially Fralick. Yeah, they're tough.
Yeah, I mean, top of the lineup, Carter was, the 2 McCrane brothers. DB, I know you're watching the games, and Mason McCrane, 6'6". The guy ended the game on Saturday with that home run out to center field. I mentioned it on the radio, but he has a lot of comps to Jack Caglione just because of his sheer size. He was 5'6" ribbies on Saturday. Dude,
he just looks massive out there in right field. Like, he just looks like a big, strong dude.
It's sort of comical. Like, it looks odd.
Yeah, and his brother Brandon didn't help either. So the McCrane brothers are on my my thumbs down list. Hopefully we don't have to see them again. But Rob, to answer your question, I'd go to the weekend. I think you're going to know much quicker probably what you have there. And again, Sunday is going to be up in the air. Blackowitz has that great start against Florida State and then sort of has a setback there. But again, you have another guy in the wings in Katsky. And I look at Yasa, day one major league draft pick. You've had 2 really quality starts and 1 not so good. Ty Horn, again, a guy that I would trust more often than not. So I just say plus numbers game of the amount of arms that are coming out of that bullpen that maybe you trust. So I'd go with the starters.
I think, it's funny as I'm just kind of watching you evolve and talk about different sports. You were talking about the load and the rigor with Sports Lightly. One of the things I think is underappreciated that I'm watching you manage is very different interviewing styles or delivery styles between Coach Hoiberg and Coach Bolt, right? It's just like you get super laid back, very kind of, conversations. I mean, Coach Bolt is extremely intense, huge truth teller, kind of puts it out, man. You feel the interviewing styles kind of, it's the same guy asking the questions, but it's very different people that you're talking to.
Yeah. Will's awesome too. He
can't not tell the truth.
Yeah, he's the best, man. And I think a lot of baseball guys are that way. That's kind of in their DNA to always tell the truth. Yeah. And post game, it's a tough situation. I'm the one who does the interview post game, and there's a lot of times that he might not be in the best mood, right? He's been great to me, right? He's given thoughtful answers, and I totally get it and I've been in that situation a bunch where guys just want to be short and just kind of move on and like, all right, Kyle, get out of my face. It is what it is. Like I'll answer your 3 silly questions, but he's probably the easiest coaches show I've ever done. Yesterday, we had to fill 41. Josh tells me, all right, we got 41 plus minutes we got to cover, and I told Coach that, and he was fine with it. And some guys kind of rolled their eyes. That was probably one of the easiest kind of coaches shows I've ever done, especially after the way Saturday and Sunday went. And talking to Fred, go from that to talking to Fred in his hotel room for his coach's segment. I think that's such a cool part of this job, right? Yesterday I got to talk to Will, and then you switch gears and you're talking Nebraska hoops with Fred and the season that they're having, and they're kind of the middle of all the storylines. So I think that's kind of I guess for me, an underappreciated part of it, because I put so much on the play-by-play, but the fact that I've had a hand in so many different cookie jars here this time of year, and then you go to spring practice and you're interviewing Coach Rule, and so to me, that's an awesome part of this job.
Kyle, when you're talking about some of the different things that you cover, the sports and the different coaches especially, is there a part of the job you like more than you thought you would?
I would say probably the interview side of it, getting to know people a little bit. We've had the bowling coach in there. Mm-hmm. We've had the track and field coach. These are things I know nothing about. Absolutely zero about. And I just have to, that's why Jess is so awesome at what she does, right? Because she had the flag football coach taped an interview with the new flag football coach yesterday, which we'll have on Sports Nightly coming up. She's so good at being versatile and kind of knowing what makes people tick and how to get things out of people. So I learned a lot from her in that setting. But I think just getting to meet new people, for us, we get access to the training table every day, and having a chance to have a conversation with Peter Cobelt, just seeing him, hey man, how you doing? How's the squad doing? I think for me, that's something I didn't necessarily have in my previous stop, because you're sort of sequestered, preparing for the next game. Mm. But now that I have an office in the stadium and you're around these people a lot, I just think the interaction with not just the big 3 sports that I cover pretty consistently, but all of them, like Amy Williams and everybody, and just in having more relationships, I think is pretty cool.
Hey, how about tonight though? We talk about your schedule and I mean, you get the 10 p.m. tip. Nebraska has a chance to really, put a stranglehold on their position for the Big Ten and get it out of the way. Well, how are you? What's the watch energy level situation look like for you tonight at 10 p.m.?
Yeah, I don't know if we'll have some Dunkin' Donuts coffee or something that call that a callback in the broadcast industry. I'll be locked in. I'm a night owl, man.
Yeah.
UDB.
Yeah.
He's got his phone on his lap at 4 a.m. watching whatever Netflix. I always tell Damon, he's talking about this show, that sport, the Australian Open or whatever. I'm like, how are you watching this stuff? Like he's like, I don't sleep, man. I don't sleep. And it's true. You don't sleep. I'm kind of like you, DB. So this is my time. 10 a.m. tip. I'm all in. This is like prime time. Kyle.
So for me, I'm still learning how much you can tolerate me since we have to spend half the year together. I'm a late texter too. Like I just sent Ravi his TikTok at like 3:30 this morning. So if I know like you're up and at 'em, man, there might be some sports takes I have, but you'll be like, dude, it's 2:20, go to bed. And I'm like,
I was waiting for my baseball text the last couple weekends. Those are still those got caught.
All right. So do you know what? Truth serum. I felt so bad because I've been in these baseball. We were doing College World Series and Vanderbilt was struggling. And I remember John and we were filling time. And when guys aren't throwing strikes, baseball is already one of those broadcasts where you talk a ton. Right. And I'm like, and I know when Ben is like bothered.
Really? You don't say.
I was like, yeah. After like the 7th walk, I'm like, I don't think this is a good time for small talk.
He was hot, man. His face was bright red. I don't know if it's because he saw sun for the first time or whatever the deal was, but his face was bright red. What
do I say, Casey? It's like
could really use some strikes here.
It's like, hey, mix one in the zone. Like they weren't even giving themselves a chance, and if the chair spins, I know he probably gave it the old, or the hand.
Yeah,
I could just see it all unfolding. So I was like, I don't think I'll gas the fire. I don't know what you do for small talk there.
Yeah, it's fair to say that that GoPro footage from that game might go in the trash. We don't need that. We don't need that GoPro footage. DB, I was on a podcast recently, and I was telling stories like, "Do you have a good Damon Benning story?" I said, "Where do I start?" I went to the Maryland trip. The one that stood out to me was setting up the booth, and Damon goes to. I don't know if you guys have told this story on this show. I'm sure you have.
I don't think I have, Casey.
The Maryland story where so it's sealed shut, Ravi.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a bulletproof glass. I don't think like an RPG is going to get through that thing. I mean, it was thick. And we're setting up, and he goes to look out the window, and thunk, he smacks his skull right into that window. And we brought that story up yesterday, or a couple days ago, and me and Jess were just talking about it and just talking about that memory. And then
I almost knocked myself out.
He was concussed, Robbie. He might have been bleeding.
We were looking for a table, right? Because Kyle's very particular, and he wanted
Brandon Myers stole it.
And there was one outside. So I saw this guy eating Pop-Tarts, and he came down, down the stairs right out. So I wanted to see if he was going to bypass the table. So I wanted to follow him, and I did a real sudden movement to see where he went. And it was just like, I think I left a print on the glass. Like
a forehead print?
Yes. I'm telling you, and they just laughed, and I was kind of hurt. I was like, oh my God, I don't think I'm thinking straight.
Were you a little woozy? Were you get a little?
Yeah, because that was the day before. I needed some fresh air.
It rocked the booth, Rob.
I thought the window was open.
Gift of everything when he smacked his head into that thing, and then the dinner at the retirement home, which was I told that story. It was we hit 3 of 4. Everyone liked their dinner except for Damon that day. The surf and turf will go down all-time swing and a miss from DB.
Yeah, they fibbed to me. They gave me top sirloin and called it surf and turf.
I mean, listen, man. If you get surf and turf, especially on the East Coast, and it's under $40, that's on you.
It's not
Yeah. My salmon was fantastic, though, man.
Casey, did Jess tell you about her sit down with Yolk? We got
a little bit.
We've got some football heads in the building, man. Between Orich and Manning, and I mean, Yelk is pretty intense. She was very complimentary from like the football aesthetics, and she's like, "Whoo, that was a toughie." Like that's not usually. I mean, she can roll with anything, but he's pretty football intense. I think he's one of those guys. He and Teasley captivate me. So if you can grab those guys, like to get behind the scenes of non-coordinators, see if you can peel back the layers on those guys. Both those two guys are interesting, kind of flying under the radar.
Yeah, two guys that are going to have a big role, especially Teasley and just sort of his role with the guys up front on offense. But I was watching Roy Manning.
Oh yeah,
I was watching him for the entire practice, and he's a nut in the best way. He's going to have those guys ready to go. I know you're big on Jordan Ochoa and some of those. We talked about Willis McGahee the last time I was here. Like, we'll see what kind of jumps those guys take. If they do, I think a lot of it's going to go to Roy and sort of his intensity. I remember just Coach Rule, the practice I went to last week, Coach Rule just kind of standing there and watching Roy sort of do his thing. I mean, he probably burns 3,000 calories each practice, just sort of how he goes about the energy that he provides, showcasing all these different skills and things and hand movements. And
between he and Corey, like you talk about, like just good old fashioned football technicians, like that's what it's like watching those guys. I mean, Corey Brown's pretty intense. Like
yeah, watching him a little bit too with those D tackles. Like he's a guy who's going to get after it. I think, and we'll see what happens in the season. But for me, I'm incredibly optimistic with the guys that they brought in. You look at the resumes. I remember the first time I interviewed Jeep and the amount of text that I got about just the people that fell in love with Jeep Wade in that moment in his first interview on Sports Nightly. His energy and we're massive on the offensive line, man.
Yeah, it's a big boy bunch.
And Claude Puma, he's probably the biggest of all of them. True freshman, they just got in. Like, looking at a guy like Nayland Scott in pads, that dude's a playmaker, man. Danny Odom. They got some freshmen and then Sorensen at the tight end spot, seeing him in pads for the first time. And some of the guys that like at the tight end position, like an Ingerson, how does he factor in this year? Like seeing him go through some reps, and
he's such a small guy, Casey. I mean, guy just walks past me, and I'm like, how are you still growing?
Yeah, they got some big dudes in the tight end. Like I think the tight end room, and I think you've said this is one that you don't have a whole lot of worry about. Between Ingerson and Sorensen, and then you got like a Danny King too. I know that
he looks fantastic.
They got a lot of guys in that room. Got to produce though.
That's the thing. They're coming up tomorrow to eat, and I think one of the things that I really want to drill down with those guys is just seizing the moment. Because don't you get a feel already, Casey, that the intensity level is up, right? There isn't a lot of like, s'mores and hey, they talk intense. They're moving faster. Like you can tell this is year 4 with new guys. Like they are all about like just the football portion of these practices.
I think if you use the context here, you're not too far removed from the bowl game, right? Where things didn't go well. I think there's a heightened sense of, okay, we got to get this thing moving, right? The way the season ended with Penn State, with Iowa and Utah, and how those games played out left a sour taste in everybody's mouth. And there's new guys that are coming in, of course, on the coaching staff and in this roster that are experiencing Coach Rule for the first time. But for those that are still on the staff, and for Coach Rule specifically, he kind of knows what it's going to take now in terms of, we got to turn a lot of different things around, whether it's new voices or practicing in the afternoon, like all these different studies and things that they've done to try and just up their level, especially in strength and conditioning with Corey Campbell. I think that's probably where it starts when you think of the intensity of this team here in spring, but the short turnaround from the end of the season to spring football, I think helps too. It just kind of keeps everything in the back of your mind that, hey, we have to get this thing right. And it starts now. Like with these guys that went through how last season ended, if you're anything but intense, you're probably in the wrong sport.
Kyle, when you look at kind of the coaching staff from guys that were held over from previous years to all the new guys that we've been talking about, do you see a common thread there between just either whether it's personality types, whether it's coaching styles? Just is there something that you've noticed or like, oh, I can tell what they're looking for, even though these guys might act all different?
Yeah, they're all intense, right? When you see them in their element, when I see a Rob Dvorak in his element, and when I interview him, kind of two different guys, right? You have to present a different intensity when you're out on the practice field. I think that's the common thread. The organization of practice, the way they do practice, the way that every rep matters, every drill matters. And that was the same thing when I showed up in the fall last year and went to every fall camp practice. Everything matters. Every drill matters. The intensity of what you're getting, again, from guys like Cheap Wade, or watching an Addison Williams, watching get after his guys.
Yeah.
Right? And I was last week at practice. It's also accountability from the players too. I was watching Jameer Khan kind of lighted into some guys, saying we need to about conditioning and things like that. It's like, this is why we run all those gassers. Why are you tired? This, that, and the other. Guys policing other guys, and I think that goes to the coaching too. I think just overall intensity, Ravi, is the way that I look at it from all these guys. And when I mentioned Roy Manning, it's kind of where it starts, and with Rule himself too. Just the way that he's popping into all these different groups, and especially with the defensive line, and he just kind of sets the tenor for all of it.
Casey, I'll get you out of here on this one. If there's a position group, I'm going to take quarterback and D-line out of it.
Okay.
Who, in your opinion, do you think will look the most different than the last time you saw them?
Well, I would say linebacker, right? Probably is where I would start in terms of position groups. Owen Chambliss, just watching him kind of go to work. You got a brand new leader in that room. Of course, you have Shavers that comes back that is going to have a say in that. I put linebacker there with all the new faces. Also, too, offensive line. You've had a lot of movement there. I mentioned how massive that offensive line is. I would probably put, to not pin down one answer, I'd give you a 1 and 1A. Again, I'm not a Mount Rushmore guy. I try not to limit myself, right? I'm never good at that. I'd go linebacker, where I think might take the biggest jump this year. I know for you going into the offseason, you said the second level of the defense is where it probably has to start in terms of what has to change.
Yep.
A lot of people went to the defensive line, and that was kind of the low-hanging fruit. But linebacker, what you lost and what needs to improve from just a play standpoint, I think they did more than enough to upgrade that room with the depth they got in the transfer portal. And then offensive line too. To supplement Evans and Pritchett, those three guys that you brought in, I think that has, and the offensive line, especially towards the end of the season, was not really the issue, right?
I agree.
It was not. No matter how much people want to get on Donnie, this, that, and the other, that was not the biggest issue with this team. But I think they've upgraded with what they brought in.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing a healthy Gatula and Sledge too. That's a little more depth than I think they potentially have had from top to bottom, where you don't really have a drop off.
And Canuck too. I mean, Canuck's played some snaps. Of course, started the
watching him practice the other day with that club, and then he went and got work after on his own on the sled. And I asked him because he's the type of guy, he practices so hard. It was physical. They're scrimmaging, and it's I just asked him, and he's like, man, I'm just trying to deal with playing with one hand. So even at this stage of being in the program, it's guys like that I think feel the competition of the other guys.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like literally trying to steal reps.
One of the nicest guys I've ever been around.
He's a great talk. He's a great guy to talk to.
Fantastic. I was happy for him when he had his opportunity to start the bowl game against his old team. But also, guys, too, I'll say this: running back Jamal Rule looks like a stud. EJ Barthel stays in the same complex I do. I saw it. The elevator opened and Barthel was standing there. It's the second time it's happened. I told him Rule's a stud, and Quentin Ives looks a little bit more slender.
Yeah.
Bit, I guess, lower half. I walked in, he was wearing 21. I said, Emmett's still here. He looks like Emmett a little bit because he's slimmed down a little bit. I think he could maybe have a role that's outside of maybe just being that third down power back. I think he could be poised to have a good year, maybe have a bigger role than people think.
Yeah.
That is Kyle Crooks from Husker Radio Network, the director of broadcasting. I want to make sure I get the official title out there.
Call me whatever you like, Ravi. People have called me worse. I'll say that.
Kyle, appreciate the time. We'll talk. Thanks for waking up for us. Go get your coffee.
I'll see you this week, buddy.
Quite literally only for you guys. This early. Appreciate you guys. Talk soon.
Thanks, Casey.
That is Kyle Crooks, the director of broadcasting for the Husker Radio Network.
Oh, that's a deep drive. Left field.
He's low-key funny, dude. Except it's not low-key anymore.
Hot Danger wanted us to follow up. He goes, hey, track's pretty simple to understand. You just run fast and turn left. I think he meant more like rosters and things like that, maybe. Hot Danger. That's what, I'm guessing. Also, you forget about the field events, Hot Danger. There's other parts to track and field.
Yeah.
I'm a big field events guy.
I think just negotiating.
I like the throwing.
Where people are.
And
the track is kind of a headache.
Oh, for sure. Like going to a track meet live, like there's a lot going on. It's sort of like your first time. It kind of reminds me of the first time watching Nebraska football practice, where there was just so much going on that like it takes you several minutes to just sort of filter through everything and figure out what you want to watch and what's going on. Because especially, I mean, I haven't been to like a super high level track meet, just like high school and stuff, but they're not really like, there's like announcements of what's happening, but it's not like unified. And
it's just so much going on.
Yes.
I mean, you see people walking across the pits and, waiting along the track line, the infield. Shane, that's what they call it, right? It's the same as in racing. It's the infield,
the grass part.
Yeah.
It's
just, it's a lot. And I like watching tracks. So
I do prefer to watch it on TV because they filter some of that stuff out for you. But I mean, track is, I'm a big track guy.
Yeah.
In terms of enjoying watching
optics. I liked, so one of the things I think that is a little understated that Casey said, because people roll their eyes because Nebraska hasn't been what we want them to be. So we don't listen
to anything.
And listen, and it's everybody, right? They can do with it what they will. But one of the things that I do like is kind of just the basic football approach, where isn't a lot of the other stuff that goes on. I told you I like things with guys with like whistles around their neck that you can't finish a drill if you don't know how to stop the drill and stuff like that. And even little things like team conditioning at the end, which doesn't seem like a big deal, right? It's like, but for guys that actually, if the non-fan, when you watch guys have to condition together at the end, when you already have gone through it, and then there's this next portion that's built-in competitiveness, where you're doing gassers by group or whatever, and all eyes are on you. Like there is no hiding.
Yeah.
In those drills, right? The clock's on, down, back, and it's just little things like that, I think, can go a long way because it helps build competitive stamina. Coach Yelk said something this week, like, there's something intimidating about being in elite level shape.
Oh, yeah.
where
100%.
when you don't see guys bent over, or when you break the huddle and everybody's upright and they're set and the play is ready to go. I mean, between that and communicating pre-snap, they're just these little things that happen that psychologically wear on you.
It's demoralizing
over time.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are.
I don't care what sport it is either.
When you see people talking and communicating and they don't appear to ever be tired, I haven't even gotten into like whether you're actually good or not.
I was like, we haven't. There's nothing football about.
Yeah,
that
there's
yet.
nothing football about it. It's just the appearance of it does something different.
Yeah, I'll take that in every sport across the board. If you're going up against someone who you're tired and they don't appear to be tired, like that will get in your head faster than just about anything.
Yeah, again, we'll see how it generates in terms of wins and losses, but definitely moving in the right direction. I just like how they've left no stone unturned in terms of areas that they can get better.
Let's take a quick break here. We will come back. More Hurrdat Sports live on the other side. That's DBM Ravi Lulla.
Yeah, so we finished, Thursday practice. We flew up afterwards. It's really different. It used to be, you just really went there to support your guys. A lot of teams might have questions. The feedback I've gotten on Emmett, just how well he's interviewed. The feedback I've gotten on Deshaun from the Senior Bowl, how well he's interviewed, I think is really good. As you see scouts and personnel directors and GMs, able to give some insight into who they really are. If there's anything that's out there that maybe is negative, you can hopefully dispel it, because sometimes that happens. So it was great to be there and see them. It's different now in that it used to be I would go every time I've had a player in it. I've always tried to go and do those two things. Now you probably spoke with 30 agents on Thursday night and Friday during the day, because they represent high school players now. And so it was a business trip for us. Pat Stewart went, Keith Williams went, Logan Holgerson went. Probably could argue we could have been up there for 3 days. Excuse me, just with the amount of guys that we who represent pro players and also represent college players. Able to get a lot of meetings with those guys, just not only for this year, but for years moving forward.
Well, I'd hate to think where we'd be without him. I've said this before. We've had transfers come in, guys for 1 year, some for 2, but most of those guys were surrounded by guys that had been in our program, and so they didn't have to come in and necessarily lead from the jump. These guys were trying to figure out our offense, our defense, the names of their teammates. You had all that going on, and they've done it. They've done it with a smile on their face. They've embraced it. Josh, to Nick's point, with everything he was going through, you'd have never known it at practice. You'd never known it in the locker room because he was a rock for those guys and showed up and went to work and obviously proved how important his teammates in this program and this university are to him. So it's they've been absolutely a thrill to coach. They really have, and there'll be guys I'll be in touch with the rest of my life.
To Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar. And nope. Shoot. That's my second one.
Trick Daddy.
That's my second one.
Come on, man.
2 in 2 weeks isn't terrible. Doing okay. We're at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We're not at a bar and grill anymore, as you can tell.
If you weren't such a control freak and I got to bring us in and out of breaks, it'd be a lot smoother.
I mean, you can do whatever you want.
You say that until it comes down to it.
Go ahead. Shane, let's play some music real quick. Play some music. Play some bump music for me.
Okay.
Welcome back. Ravi Lulla. I call him L3. I'm old DB. Live from Hurrdat Sports headquarters as we get ready to transition into hour number 3. Ravi, how about that? Just talking a little Nebraska football, fresh on the heels of spring ball.
I like Nebraska football. I'm a fan.
See how easy that is?
Look at you. It's like you've done this before.
Professional. I think you just downplay my talents. I'm taking them to South Beach.
What if I played this music instead?
And then at 9 o'clock, we're going to talk. It is. We're almost at that time.
What is it about?
Just for clarification,
Is that
every
inch nails?
Wednesday is
9 inch nails?
January 18th.
We're past Ass Wednesday, Shane.
I don't know where that keeps. I know where it keeps coming from. I'm not the one playing that.
I'm not the one playing
It's
that.
the other guy in the other room. See the thumb? It's pointing back that way.
Don't point the finger, point the thumb.
Well, AJ technically would be about 2 o'clock.
Yeah, he's almost directly across from me.
Yeah.
So he's like right where that monitor is.
That's not good radio because nobody knows where me is.
Well, they can see me.
Are you gonna have?
And we're not on the radio, so
are
it's
you?
okay.
Are you gonna snack while you're watching the game tonight?
Probably not. Probably not at 10 o'clock. That's pretty late.
Yeah.
I probably won't unless I have a low blood sugar or something. Probably won't be eating then. I usually stop eating by like 8 at the latest. Sometimes we have a late dinner.
Would you like to take a stab at what my birthday dinner was?
Oh, I'm gonna guess meat. I'm gonna guess it was a meat forward.
Kinda. It's you're not gonna get it. Although I said I'm into it. It's not fancy at all. So don't think big picture.
Go out or stay in?
Stayed in.
Okay.
Well, as actually brought to the house because I had to get Micah from the airport.
Okay. You're into it, but it's not a typical DB.
I'm gonna try one from every place I go if they have it.
Oh, that threw me off. I have no idea.
A fish sandwich.
Oh, that's right. It's that time of year. After,
and
after
I love fish sandwiches. One of your worst, and I mean you have some atrocious ones.
Not
Casey Tominaga was standing.
I said not Casey.
I understood. See, I kind of stayed out of that.
You did. You said you dummy early and then didn't say anything else.
So the you dummy was you were you know how you do the thing where you'll like make a point but you'll use an extreme.
Yeah.
And I was like, you dummy.
So when I was talking about this earlier, where I go like, you at least have to acknowledge some validity in what I said. if you don't start there, I will just rage bait you, which is basically what I ended up doing to DeMarinis.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just go to the dumbest possible version of my argument because I think it's funny.
I thought JP would have some stronger takes.
It's because
he's not an old head, though.
Also, if you listen to my reasoning, it makes sense. So you can disagree. Like, I know people love Strickland. Heath was hammering the Strickland argument. I understand the argument for Strickland and for Belcher and for.
I saw a different side of Heath this morning.
Oh, yeah, he was
not
getting
the
after
funny
it.
comedian. He basically told somebody, "She's so pissed I'm standing." So, like, full disclosure, Sash.
It's fine.
I almost thought that was her.
I know.
It is
I was
her.
like, how did
but
that?
I was like, we can't hear her because she's not saying anything, and she's
Well-
4 feet from me.
I know. I had like a minute where I was like, wait, does she have a? No, she doesn't have a mic.
So I'm just gonna say this, Sash, while I have you. There will be lots of times I like to stand.
All right.
Thank you.
Uh,
I'm sorry.
do you have? Okay, so here's the real question I wanted to have about the Nebraska starting lineup argument, right? Is there someone besides those two guys at shooting guard or at any other position that you're like, hey, probably didn't get enough consideration?
I'd have to think about it, but so Strick wouldn't be my, and I love, like,
yeah.
I mean, clearly we get along, but that wouldn't come to my. If you're playing with Lou, I don't want them in the same backcourt together.
Totally fair.
So that's why.
So who's your go-to then, if at shooting guard?
It's so hard.
I mean, you brought up Cookie. Cookie Belcher's like low-key one of my random favorite basketball players. I love Cookie Belcher.
Yeah, there are just so many guys that I think are underappreciated. You know, for a while, and Kerry brought this up to me, so I'm not going to claim it as my own. I was talking to Kerry yesterday because I think you think I was joking. You think I'm joking, but like we text quite a bit.
Yeah, no, I believe you.
And he was saying, the joke Tourette's almost kicked in. I'm not going to say it. Maybe I'll tell him privately. That was one of your funniest lines yesterday.
I thought it was
when
pretty
you
good.
get a blah ha 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 ha. I'm literally doing that out loud. But you know, I want to shoot. I want to catch and shoot guy like that. But we're just forgetting about a lot of guys. Like I can't really thumb my nose at like Andre Smith, right? Goat status. But there's some guys where if I'm playing that way, like that really interest me, like Tony Farmer, like Carl Hayes. I'm a
big Carl Hayes guy.
I'm a huge Vincent Hamilton guy.
That name got brought up.
You know, Vincent Hamilton is arguably the most underappreciated great basketball player that was on campus.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you.
He got brought up a couple
Bernard
times.
Garner came in that year with that hype, but that class was incredible. I really, you know, I like Bo Reed. Pretty complete. There's a lot of guys that I think that we forget about.
So here's the problem I ran into with a lot of this.
And
list.
it doesn't just have to be like scoring prowess because you talked about fit.
Yeah.
Right. I probably wouldn't be tickled to have Lou and Strickland play in the backcourt because both guys play with the basketball the majority of the time.
Same thing. Some people brought up like Teran Pedway. Like probably don't want him and Lou in the same backcourt. Like me personally, like that's a lot of ball domination. In the backcourt.
I did think you were a little dismissive of Petway's scoring prowess.
That was in the rage baiting portion of the conversation. Petway was really good. I do think we overvalue him historically because of the run that he went on. Like he went on an all-time 6-week heater, like just all time.
Yeah, he's unconscious.
In 2013, 2014, while he was a pretty prolific scorer, he was a pure volume guy outside of that. The efficiencies weren't there. You know, like he was sub 40% from the field his last year at Nebraska.
Where are you on Roby?
Roby was good, but he underperformed at Nebraska.
Yeah. Well,
like,
you and Stephen Bardo.
Super talented, but just underperformed at Nebraska for what his
I wonder
was.
if he knows how good he is.
I also
remember he'd say that like every broadcast.
Yep. Hey, I wonder, do you think somebody's ever going to tell Isaiah Roby how good he is?
Yeah.
You think he's going to figure it out? Like super talented. There's a bunch of those guys. Like
I'm not taking Siobhan.
So like Shields is an example of a guy that probably underperformed at Nebraska. Delano Band, like there's a whole stretch of guys that underperformed at Nebraska for what their talent level was. You know me, I'm not a volume scorer guy. The sub
So TP is going to turn you off.
Yeah, so like the sub 40% from the field in his last year.
Low 30%.
On 7 threes a game is insane. 31% on 7 threes a game is actual insanity. Like, I'm out. Like the 6-week heater, like, thank you for the tournament run. It's terrific. But my God, am I out on that? Like, I just that I'm never gonna pick that guy in any list ever. Not him personally, but that type of guy, just not interested in it.
So I missed the chat's heated discussion. Was it a Hoiberg versus Lou discussion?
So yeah, Kenny E brought up Hoiberg as somebody. I think he said initially should split time with Lou. And listen, I love Hoiberg. I really appreciate what he does in terms of a lot of the intangibles and a lot of the non-sexy things, even the ones that do show up in a box score.
Indeed sexy.
But we're severely underrating Lou if we're having that conversation. You could make the argument, and I know that
Tiger.
I know that Dave Hoppen is the Nebraska basketball GOAT, and I'm not. The guy that's probably closest, in my opinion, is Lou. In terms of, like, if he had played a 4th year at Nebraska.
Surefire, pencil him in.
Yes, like he's the only guy in my mind that's close to infringing upon Hoppen's crown as like the GOAT.
You know, he's in the
basketball.
top 10 of 3-pointers made in a season. You don't think of T.
Lou?
Lewis
I know, yeah.
As
he better scorer than we remember. Obviously has the assists.
Well, I told you, I took umbrage with College Sporting News were ranking like players of the year, and they did like a top 15 every year in the Big Ten in the 90s, and Lou wasn't on the list.
Lou was phenomenal. He's one of the first Nebraska basketball players I remember watching. He was unbelievably good and better NBA player than people remember as well.
Amazing Daniel said that would be like saying Derek Fisher should split time with Magic. That's tough, D.
I mean, he's not like super far off.
That's tough.
He's not super far. Like if we're scaling down to Nebraska, like that's not a terrible analogy.
Wow, you rocking with amazing.
I think that's a pretty good analogy there. Listen, Piakowski made the list. I don't think he's in the greatest of all time conversation for his entire career.
Yeah.
I tried to value more than just one.
And Pike made your list.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
he was on your starting.
He was an unquestioned guy on my list. Like he was one of the easiest calls. Let's take a quick break here. We're going to talk to Will Backus from CBS Sports coming up next. That's Damon Betting. I'm Ravi Lulla here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, there are several metrics that are utilized to determine, one's status for being into and seeding in the tournament. And I think that one of the major ones is the net rankings. And you can't argue with the fact that, that is a ranking metric that takes into account not just wins, losses, all the such, but where you played the games, offensive efficiency, defensive efficiency. And I think that there's really no way to skew that ranking. And so I think it shows a lot about what this team has been up against, playing the best teams in the country and a lot of them on the road and being right there in 1-possession and 2-possession ball games. I think this team has proven to be competitive against teams that are going to be, hosting games in the NCAA tournament. And I think that's what they're looking for down the stretch is really competitive games.
amazing. I think Pop's done some great things. Sue has done some great things. I think all of them done some really good things. They look big, fast, violent. They look confident. I think that's the biggest thing I see, man. They look as confident as you can be up front. I think that's the biggest thing I've seen from them. I think I got the size for it. 6'3" and 238 this morning, so I feel like I'm pretty good size, and I got the mental to go along with it. I think I'm a pretty smart player, and I can anticipate at a pretty high level. Absolutely. I'm as excited as can be. Already watched every game from every team that we're going to play this year. I'm ready to go.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Male Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi, Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by Will Backus from CBS Sports. Will, how are we doing this morning?
I'm doing great. How are y'all?
Good. Good morning, Will.
Good morning.
Will, so as we're deep in combine draft season, we're deep in March Madness season. Where is the majority of your focus right now?
It's split kind of all over the place. A lot of it is college basketball just because, it's last week of the regular season. Conference tournaments start soon, and March Madness is right around the corner. So, I've had my eyes on college basketball a lot. It's kind of the quiet season for college football. The combine's interesting, but that's about all that's going on right now. So basketball is definitely top of the mind.
Yeah, it's interesting. Have you found, as the season's gone on, have you whittled down? The obvious answer would be yes, but maybe not, because you have more data. Are there more or less teams that you think can win a national championship in the last 2 weeks?
I would say more. I mean, I think I was thinking about it. Like, I think this has the potential to be one of the most interesting tournaments we've ever seen. Like, there's obviously some obvious front runners like Duke, Michigan, Arizona. They're heavy national title favorites, but I look at like the top 15 of the Ken Pom rankings right now, and I could see a path for a majority of teams there. And I think that's really fascinating. And so I think it's going to be a very interesting March. I feel confident that it's going to be pretty wide open, and there's not going to be one team like, UConn a couple years ago or Florida last year that just kind of runs the table the whole time.
Will, where is there? You mentioned three teams there in Arizona, Michigan, and Duke. Where do you start to differentiate between what you would consider title favorites versus teams that are capable of winning the title, if that makes sense? Like, where is there a gap for you?
Sure. I think for me, and again, I like to use Ken Pom because that's, kind of the top metric that tournament selectors use. I would say the cutoff is probably around like the top 6. And I say that, and that's interesting because Illinois right now is sitting at number 5 in Ken Pom. And people might not think like, oh, Illinois title contender. But I mean, they've kind of quietly had a really good season. So yeah, I would say like around the top 6, after that Duke, Michigan, Arizona tier. Florida's also up there. I think Florida, they struggled in the non-conference, but they've been running away with the SEC, and they've looked about like they did last year. So yeah, around that top 6, I would say you go from like, title favorites to contenders where you could see them winning it, but maybe you're not expecting them to.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. I'm like a little bit like the stock market. I've been a little volatile. I was the one team that I've been really consistent on that I felt was coming from off the radar. So this is a couple of months ago, was Florida. I feel good about that. But one of the teams that I tried to get in on early was Illinois. And this was before, I mean, they hadn't even played Nebraska the first time yet, but I was just kind of looking at how they're built. That's one of the teams, though, Will, the more I watch them, and listen, I get it. Wagler has got to get used to playing with Boswell again. And there are some things that they do offensively, but there's a couple of things that bug me. Number one, I think they have an athleticism problem. And number two, I don't like them against other like-built teams. They seem to really get exposed. Do I need to be careful about over evaluating the more that I know about Illinois? Because I usually go just the opposite. I'm usually honking for the Fighting Illini.
No, like I said, they're kind of the one to me that kind of sticks out like a sore thumb there in the top 5 of the Kim Pom, especially after their most recent results, lost to UCLA and then had a pretty big loss to Michigan. And so I think it's interesting that they're still rated so highly. Like they've got really good offensive metrics. A lot of it is Wagler. Like he's an incredible shooter, and he really kind of elevates the team's 3-point percentage. As you mentioned, kind of interesting chemistry dynamic going on with Kylan Boswell coming back. You hope that they can get it figured out by March. Obviously, they've got a couple games here and then the Big Ten tournament as well. But yeah, I am worried about how they'll hold up, especially physically in the tournament. Like I think that their problem, and we saw it against Michigan, which is an extremely physical team. Like I don't know if they're going to be able to hold up in a tournament setting when they start to get, if they make it deep, when they start to go up against those kind of higher seed teams that are definitely going to be physical, like the Dukes, Michigans, Arizonas, Floridas,
Well, who do you trust more that I think people want to like? Michigan State or Kansas?
I think Michigan State. And I only say that because Kansas has been so all over the board this year. Like, if you get Kansas at its best, you've got, a potential Final Four team. But Kansas at its worst, you're talking about one of those, maybe 2 or 3 seeds or 4 seeds that gets bounced really early and you're shocked. I think Michigan State has been a little bit more consistent. They've had some off games, but it hasn't been quite as all across the board as Kansas. And also Tom Izzo does a lot of his best work in March. And so, I tend to trust him when it comes tournament time. I feel good about Michigan State making a pretty solid run.
Will, what's a team that people are pretty high on that you're just not buying, that you just can't get there with?
I would say, for me personally, I would have to say Iowa State. I really like Iowa State. I really want them to do well. But I don't know. I think them losing to Texas Tech without JT Toppin was a pretty bad loss. And maybe it's one of those things where sometimes you see like late season injuries to really prominent players galvanize a team and they go on some kind of miraculous run. But
I think their scout was screwed up.
Yeah.
I really do. Like preparing to play a team without their best player suddenly presents some unique challenges.
Yeah, for sure. And then, obviously last night's result against Arizona also makes me question how Iowa State's going to do against those top elite teams. I mean, we're talking about Iowa State's on that 2 seed line. He could drop down. They could drop down to a 3 seed definitely. But, I'm worried about how they're going to compete. Kind of like I said earlier with a lot of those more physical teams, because Iowa State's very athletic. They like to spread the ball out and score. But I'm just a little worried again about how they're going to hold up come tournament time.
Let me ask you something, because again, I guess if our listeners would tell you, there's probably 3 teams that I always tried to bring to the forefront early, and it was Illinois, Iowa State, and Florida. Would you agree? Mm-hmm. 2 of the 3 I'm waning on, even though much like Illinois, where I used to really be about their metrics, I used to always defend Lipsy. I'm like, one of the more underrated point guards. This is what he does. Been injury plagued. But the more I watch them against elite quality level backcourts, I get the lack of athleticism. He's more of a savvy guy. Is he a good enough offensive threat for the way that they want to play? Do you kind of see that being an issue?
I do. I mean, I think he's one of those guys that's incredibly streaky. And so it kind of depends on when he's hitting his stride. Because, we'll see him have a couple games in a row where he bursts out for, 23, 25 points. And a lot of that can come against teams that don't necessarily have guards that can match up against him, or teams that don't have super athletic backcourts. We've seen, Texas Tech, right, held him to a pretty bad night. And Texas Tech has a great backcourt with guys like Christian Anderson.
And there's two things in particular. He's a sub 28% 3-point shooter, and he's bad from the foul line. So those it gives me pause in late game situations.
Yeah, I don't know if he necessarily has, that clutch factor that you would look for from a go-to type scorer, which is kind of odd because he has been that guy in recent years. So I don't know necessarily what the issue is with him this year. Maybe I wouldn't even say it's a chemistry thing because Iowa State has a lot of the same guys that they've had in recent years. It's just he's kind of having an off year. Like I said, he's a lot more streaky than we're used to this year. So, maybe there's some weird things going on with him. I don't know if necessarily he's a guy that you can trust as a go-to guy in March to hit the shots that you need. And that could hurt Iowa State, especially against, like I said, teams with more athletic backcourts.
Okay, so let me stick with guys that you can trust in March here. I'm going to stick with the top 10 in Ken Pom. So I'm not counting guys like Acuff from Arkansas or Brown from Louisville or Philon from Alabama. Just the top 10 in Ken Pom here. I'm going to give you 4 guards. You tell me the one that you trust the most in March only, not for NBA or anything like that. Burries, Wagler, Flemings, or Fears?
That's tough. I would say it might be cheating, but I would say either Flemings or Burries. Like I think Flemings is that guy. Every time I watch him, he does some improbable things. Like he's such a natural, gifted scorer. He's a freshman, but he's not scared of the moment. I know that if in March Houston needs a bucket, he is going to go get it. Like he just does some really awesome stuff. And then Burries, I think his name, obviously he's mentioned a lot, but I think he's very underrated outside of that upper tier.
Air high five.
Yeah, he's very underrated outside of that upper tier of freshmen. Everybody talks about Cameron Boozer, AJ DeBanza, Kingston Flemings, but he doesn't get mentioned kind of in the same breath as those guys. But I think he's right up there with them. He's an extremely versatile scorer, extremely versatile player. He can play inside out. And like Fleming, he's going to be the guy that Arizona goes to get a bucket if they need it.
Well, my partner tried to kick me off our own show. A month ago, I tried to make this case between Burries and Wagler, and
we were having a different conversation.
I get it. Wagler was on a heater, and I said, I'm telling you, Burries is like an 8 across the board. He has no real deficiencies, and he's a stud. I'll go one step further, Will. I hear a lot of this Michigan, Duke, and then maybe a smidge of a gap in Arizona. I think Arizona is every bit as equipped to win a title as Duke, because the one thing that people say about Arizona is the reluctance to shoot the 3 and the percentage from the 3. And I'm like, you guys, Duke shoots like 35.5 from 3. Arizona shoots like 35.3. Now, maybe it's the attempts and volume, but it's not like, I have significantly more faith in Evans or Browns or Sarr's consistency behind the arc. There's elite level defenders, but from shooting the basketball, that's not where I would start with Arizona, at least for me.
No, and I think to your point, we're seeing this year, a lot of the best teams aren't elite 3-point shooting teams. None of the top 4 right now is inside the top 70 nationally in 3-point percentage. I think that we're seeing a lot of teams. We're talking about Duke, Michigan, Arizona, and I'll even lump Florida into that because I think Florida really belongs on that. If not in the elite tier, right outside of it. We're seeing a lot of teams that play inside out. They prefer to go into the paint. They've got guards that can drive the ball. They've got maybe 1 or 2 guys that can hit a shot. Burries is a pretty good shooter.
They're all big teams too.
Yeah, they're all big, physical. That's the identity with college basketball this year. If you're not big and you're not physical, you're not going to go far in March. You just need that, and you need to be able to score inside. And so, I think that that's kind of what sets those teams apart, is that they just stand out when you watch them. They can pound the inside like no other teams.
So is a team like Arkansas or even Bama, are they just not consistent enough defensively for you?
Yeah, I would say so. And I think Arkansas is way improved defensively this year. They're so much better defensively than they have been in a long time. So I think that they're in an okay spot defensively. Alabama, very concerned about their defense. they're a very good scoring team. Like they can score in droves. But yeah, I'm concerned about how they match up defensively, especially on the inside. Like they don't have kind of that big dominant inside guy that you would want. And Arkansas is kind of lacking there as well. They've got good athleticism on the inside. Like Trevon Brazil's incredibly athletic, but they don't have that big post presence that's going to be able to match up against a Cameron Boozer or a Daymara. Guys like that on the top teams that kind of set the standard for inside basketball.
Out of teams that have I'll call it a fatal flaw, just in the sense of winning a national championship, and it puts them outside of what the metrics would say you need to be on Ken Palm, right? So out of teams that have a fatal flaw, I'll put Nebraska's offense in there, Kansas's offense, Alabama's defense, and Arkansas's defense. Which one of those teams do you like the best to still make, let's say, a Final Four run, since history would tell us none of them are winning a national championship with the level of metrics they have currently?
I would say I think I like Arkansas out of that group. Obviously, you've got what's that?
Just an A-Cuff thing as much as anything?
Yeah, I mean, Acuff stands out as from that group as just that kind of guy that you need in March, like we talked about with Burries and Flemings, where he can go get a bucket when you need him to. I like, again, I think Arkansas's defense is improved. It's still a concern, but they've got guys about Billy Richmond, who is in the conversation for SEC Defensive Player of the Year. Like he's got the ability to lock down another team's best scorer, or at least limit another team's best scorer, from the outside, their best scoring guard. And he's also got a little bit of versatility as well to switch off if he needs to. And so, I think Arkansas has the pieces out of those teams you mentioned to make a deep run.
Some teams where we, along those lines with some flaws, they're kind of going the other way a little. But if you're playing they're interesting. You like Vanderbilt or Tennessee?
Man, that's kind of a toss-up for me, honestly, because obviously Tennessee, beat Vanderbilt, right? And they're going to play again in the regular season finale. I think that
Vanderbilt is more highly thought of, but I'm not so sure. They're moving the wrong way for me.
Yeah, they've had a rough last month. They're kind of having a rough close to the season. Tennessee as well. Like they went on kind of a hot streak where they won 9 of their 11 games, and now they've lost their last 2. Obviously against Alabama, they lost Nate Ament to injury. That's a big blow to them because he's one of those freshman players that doesn't get talked about as much as, the kind of top tier, but I think he belongs right up there. Really slow start to the season, but he's been playing some of the best basketball in the country, since the calendar hit February. And so, I might give a slight edge to Tennessee just because I really do like Tennessee's front court if it's healthy, if they've got all their guys there. And obviously, again, you look at Jacoby Gillespie, he's a guy that can go get a shot. I know Vanderbilt has Tyler Tanner, who's also phenomenal. I think they're pretty neck and neck, maybe a slight edge to Tennessee.
So let me ask you something, because they've kind of fallen out of good graces, and I brought up a stat to Ravi about what's happening to Purdue defensively, especially over the last 6 games, and what opponents are able to shoot from the field against them. They can't get stops. And offensively, I think the ceiling is limited, right? How when you look at a team like Purdue, if you're going to invest at all, what has to go right for them to overcompensate for that lack of athleticism?
They got to shoot out of the building. Like they've got to be peak boiler ball, right? Where they've just chucking up threes and making every other one. And they've got the capability to do that. Braden Smith, Fletcher Lawyer, they can both get extremely hot from 3 and just have runs where they just can't miss. They're going to need that. I think what's the difference with Purdue this year? Again, we talk about, physicality, right? I don't think they have a guy like a Zach Edey or someone like that where they can just go to inside and he can get a bucket at will against other opponents. Like we're used to Purdue. Obviously, a lot of their guards get a lot of the attention, outside of Zach Edey. But we're used to kind of Purdue teams that have a really good inside presence. This year, I'm not sure they have that. Oscar Clough isn't kind of up to the standard that they normally have from their big men. And so, I think that's kind of one of the big issues with Purdue. But yeah, they're going to have to shoot out of the building, to kind of knock off some of those upper tier teams.
Well, when you're kind of considering the roster and some of the, I guess, storylines about who some of these guys are you more surprised, despite the metrics, that you don't feel like you can trust Kansas's offense?
Not surprised. I think, Kansas, I think in recent years, Kansas hasn't even been that great of an offensive team. Like they have nights where they flash, but again, we talk about inconsistency, right? And so I think, I'm not necessarily super surprised. I obviously, a lot of it will depend on, does Darren Peterson want to play? How does he want to approach the tournament? Because he's a good go-to guy for them. They've got other options. Trey White's been awesome for them. Melvin Council's a great slashing guard that can get to the hoop. But I'm not surprised at the inconsistency, no, and that could sting him in March.
There's always going to be these like popular, the bracket projections are going to come out and people are going to look at, some 12-5s or, what's going on down the ways in terms of seedings a little bit. Is there a team? I mean, maybe it's a Belmont. It could be, St. Louis. Is there a team that you think is better built to make kind of one of those? Because there's always one a year, right? I mean, that goes on this little 3-game run. Is out of the 6, is there a team that you think is specifically built for that could be misseeded?
Yeah, I mean, I like that you mentioned Belmont. Like I'm a big fan of Belmont's potential in the tournament. And like the latest bracket that we put out at CBS Sports has Belmont playing Vanderbilt in the first round. I think that's a potential 12/5 upset. Like I don't think Belmont is a 12 seed that you want to see in the first round. They're a very complete team. They rank well both offensively and defensively in advanced metrics. They're top 40 offensively, and their defense is very high as well. And they're one of those teams that I could see. Again, the 12-5 upset I think is very believable for them. Maybe they get hot and go deeper than that, but I've definitely got my eyes on them.
There's 2 teams in particular, and I promise you it's not just because I like the name Boopy, but I always ask Ravi to kind of watch SMU as much as they can, but there's a couple of other likely candidates that could be in those tricky 7, 10s, 11, 6s. So I give you SMU, UCF, and maybe like a UCLA, and I'm trying to steal a little UCLA because Nebraska plays them tonight. Of those potential 10-11s, does anybody have your attention?
Yeah, I would say SMU, and not just because it's fun to say Boopy. I'm just a big fan of. I'm a big fan of SMU's entire backcourt. Like obviously, there's Boopy, great scorer. BJ Edwards, former Tennessee guy. He's a great traditional kind of point guard, and so I think that they've got a really complete kind of guard group that can take them pretty far in March. I think depth is a bit of a concern with them. They don't play a lot of guys consistently. And so that could hurt them in a tournament setting where you're playing a lot of games back to back, but they've got a really solid core of starters. And I definitely think that they're kind of one of those teams on the 10-11 seed line that could make a bit of noise.
Interesting, because I watched them up close a couple of weeks in a row, and it started with them annihilating North Carolina. And I'm just thinking to myself, offensively, I mean, people are enamored with like NC State and stuff when they make threes, but I mean, SMU can score.
Yeah, they absolutely can. Boopy Miller's a great scorer. Jaron Pierre Jr. as well. He's a really versatile 6'5" guy that can kind of fill it up from wherever. He's a really good three-point shooter. I think he's averaging around 37% on the year, but he also gets a lot of his scoring done, slashing and in the paint as well. I mentioned BJ Edwards is a good traditional point guard, but he's also a good shooter. I think 4 of their starters are averaging above 37% from 3 on the year, which is kind of absurd to have at this point in the season. And so that kind of shooting is what can make a team lethal in the NCAA tournament. We've seen a lot of teams that pull off crazy upsets just because they can't miss from three, and SMU definitely has that potential to fill it up from deep.
All right, Will, I want to talk about middle classes of conferences here. So for the purposes of this, I'm saying ACC, but it's everybody after Duke. Big 10, but it's everybody after Michigan. Big 12, but it's everybody after Arizona. And for SEC, I'll give you everybody after Florida. Which of those four are you taking has the best middle class of their conference? So think like the next 3 to 5 teams.
I would say Big 12. I think that the Big 12 has been the best conference for most of the year. Because, I mean, after Arizona, you've got Houston. And Houston, we haven't talked about Houston a lot, but I think Houston has national title potential. You've got Iowa State. I know I've mentioned concerns with Iowa State, but they're still a very good team. You've got Texas Tech. No JT Toppin. So far, that hasn't been a problem for them. They've still got great players like Christian Anderson. Even Kansas. Like, we've seen Kansas pull off some huge wins this year. Kansas definitely has boom potential.
BYU.
Yeah, even BYU. Like, BYU, talk about an inconsistent, streaky team.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly, where in the last week of the regular season, I'm still not sure I know what to make of BYU. With the Bansa, they've got the potential to beat anybody, but they've also had some really bad losses. And you've even mentioned kind of in the lower tier of potential tournament teams like UCF, really solid.
Yeah.
Cincinnati, solid.
UCF is going to scare some people. They're going to be a 10, and I'm telling you, if they're in that 10, 11 range, people aren't going to know what to do with UCF. I like that I was hoping I wasn't. Like, I just like the fact I can talk about teams that are kind of off the radar like that. And I'm going to give you one more that I think is kind of in a similar spot, and they may get like a 7. What do you think about Miami?
I like Miami. I mean, I really like what Jay Lucas has done there. I think that he added a lot of – Miami's always been – obviously they had Jim Larinaga, who's a legendary coach. Program kind of stagnated in recent years. So they just needed to have somebody come in like a Jay Lucas, a really young, energetic guy that can kind of infuse that energy on the team. And I think we've seen that pay dividends this year. But, yeah, I mean, they got Trey Donaldson. He's been phenomenal for them this year.
Yeah.
Shelton Henderson – again, one of those freshmen that doesn't get talked about a lot, but he's playing really good basketball for Miami. Even Ernest Uday Jr. is a very solid sort of post player that can be physical with teams that they need to be physical with. And so, yeah, I mean, I like Miami. I'm again, I think I'd put the ACC maybe last out of those teams out of those conferences you mentioned, but again, I think they've got a really solid core of teams that are going to make the tournament.
Yeah, with what Duke did to Virginia and Louisville, can't throw it in the ocean. That doesn't help.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that helps kind of your sentiment with. I mean, and Carolina's got to get healthy. Last one from me here, Will, is Missouri. Where's Missouri for you?
I like Missouri. Again, they're one of those teams like BYU that has kind of been all over this year. And I really have a hard time predicting success for teams like that. But, I mean, they've got, again, a solid core. T.O. Barrett is a guy that I think people need to know more about as tournament time approaches. He's been hot lately. He's kind of taken on a bigger role for Missouri as the season has gone on because he's been playing really great basketball. Mark Mitchell, I think, is a player that doesn't get talked about enough. Talk about versatility. I mean, he can play all over the place. He's 6'9", and there's certain times that he'll handle the ball for Missouri. And so I think that's an insane level of versatility. And they're really good. They're a solid shooting team as well. Their team percentage doesn't look super great, but they've got a couple guys like Jacob Cruz and like Trent Pierce that can really shoot the cover off the ball. And so if you can rely on those guys in March, that can take you pretty far. So I think that they're one of those teams, again, that's flying under the radar, but I could see them pulling off a couple notable upsets and maybe making like a Sweet 16 run. come tournament time.
Funnest thing for me is I can't wait for people to figure out after they watch Texas Tech these last couple of games without JT Toppin that are quick to write him off. Wait till they see how unsticky the ball now is without JT Toppin. As great as he was, right? Dribble, weird 4 foot, 6 foot shot in the paint. Like, man, Texas Tech is moving the basketball, and I think they got a coach that embraces kind of reinventing that offense.
Yeah, and we kind of talked about it earlier, but sometimes, obviously, you never want to see injuries like that happen, especially to players like JT Toppin, who's an incredible player. But sometimes they can be sort of blessings in disguise for a team where you kind of unlock a different level because now you have to figure out, well, we've got to play without him. What do we do? And you find out that maybe you're better spreading the ball around, and maybe you're even more dangerous to teams spreading the ball around because now you've got guys playing a lot that haven't been scouted, you know. You've got options that you can go to that teams maybe didn't pay as much attention to when they were game planning for JT Toppin. And so especially this late into the season, Texas Tech could kind of use that as an advantage.
That's Will Backus from CBS Sports. Will, great stuff.
Fantastic,
as always,
deep stuff.
Appreciate your time. We'll talk again soon.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thanks, Will.
That's Will Backus from CBS Sports.
It's getting in the weeds.
A little bit of the weeds. Does part of you think this is more how McCaslin wants to play?
Yeah.
I think
because
the underrated part of the Texas Tech situation.
Well, remember, I told you just watching so much at Tech, I was talking about JT Toppin's demeanor. How sometimes it's like he seems like he's always mad about
surly.
something. Like he's super surly. Yeah. And but I do know that his teammates like him, and I think sometimes like he's one of those guys that always wants. It seems like he always wants touches, right? And so. And just watched them the other, especially against Iowa State, you know, who can run and trap and jump and
ball pops a little bit.
Yeah, it moved so fast. And I was like, I bet this offense is interesting for teams on the short turnaround that are used to playing against Tech.
Especially you're playing
without
the
it
second time.
without it stopping when it goes down in the blocks, near the blocks to Toppin.
Yeah, it's a totally different scout. Not just because of personnel, but also just the actual stylistically what they're doing here.
And I'm not one of those guys. Listen, I'm not saying that they're better.
Yeah, you're not like a Ewing theory guy or anything here.
But I gave you the Jet Tamala example.
Yeah.
Right. If I don't know that Jet Tamala is playing and we played Millard South tomorrow, and I'm not used. I'm telling you, whoever's running the ball,
it's going to run for like 300 yards.
Yeah, they're going for 3 bills.
Yeah.
Because the game plan just isn't. It's just
it's not designed for what they're about to do, and there's no way to prepare for that with no tape, nothing at all.
I'd be like, good luck to me.
It will be interesting, I think, to see as we get more games under Texas Tech's belt without Toppin, if that changes at all, or if the stylistic change kind of evens that out enough that it actually is harder to defend them this way, even without their best player. In JT Toppin. Let's take
UCLA officially a pick 'em right now.
Ooh, moving a little closer to that Ken Palm line.
Yeah, it's a pick 'em.
Let's take a quick break here. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. It's Hurrdat Sports Live. We'll be right back.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, there are several metrics that are utilized to determine, once status for being into and seeding in the tournament. And I think that one of the major ones is the net rankings. And you can't argue with the fact that, that is a ranking metric that takes into account not just wins, losses, all the such, but where you played the games, offensive efficiency, defensive efficiency. And I think that there's really no way to skew that ranking. And so I think it shows a lot about what this team has been up against, playing the best teams in the country, and a lot of them on the road, and being right there in 1 possession and 2 possession ball games. I think this team has proven to be competitive against teams that are going to be, hosting games in the NCAA tournament. And I think that's what they're looking for down the stretch, is really competitive games.
Amazing. I think Pop's done some great things. Sue has done some great things. I think all of them done some really good things. They look big, fast, violent. They look confident. I think that's the biggest thing I see, man. They look as confident as you can be up front. I think that's the biggest thing I've seen from them. I think I got the size for it. 6'3" and 238 this morning, so I feel like I'm pretty good size. And I got the mental to go along with it. I think I'm a pretty smart player, and I can anticipate at a pretty high level. Absolutely. I'm as excited as can be. Already watched every game from every team that we're going to play this year. I'm ready to go.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ, reminding you, make sure you go check out our guys at Next Gen Male Medical. If you want all sorts of energy like DB has, he's standing all the time, he's moving around, he's walking, he's talking. I don't think it's just the OCD. I think it's also Next Gen. Give him a little boost, a little pep in his step.
I feel like I've been unfairly mislabeled.
How would you like to be labeled, DB?
I'm just active.
Active. If you want to be an active lifestyle person like DB, give our friends at Next Gen Male Medical a visit. It's nextgenmmc.com. You can schedule an appointment right there online and see what all products and services they have to offer. Active lifestyle, DB. Can I ask you a question? College basketball question?
Yes.
I want to give you a list here real quick.
Okay.
I want you to tell me where this team ends their run in March.
Okay.
Number 1. This is a team I think we all have complicated feelings about. Michigan State.
Michigan State's run will end in the Sweet 16.
Okay. We're going to stick in the Big Ten for a second here.
Uh-huh.
Or don't.
Boy, they're looking at they're staring at a second round loss. I'm telling you, Purdue can't defend.
Mm-hmm. I believe you.
They can't defend. They couldn't even get a stop against Ohio State,
which is Ohio State's not good.
Although Thornton is on kind of a heater. This might be the year of the squatty bodyguard.
Yeah. We like our little 6'1".
Well, I'm never gonna like Thornton, but he's been really good.
Give
down
me a
the
little
stretch.
Khalid El-Amin body types.
Yeah.
That's the best squatty body I can think
not
of.
Not everybody's gonna be yoked like Acuff.
Speaking of Acuff, Arkansas.
So, will Arkansas ever get stops?
Here, Arkansas is tricky to me because, yes, we have no idea whether or not they're going to get stops. Also, I feel like Acuff can carry you to 3 or 4 wins.
Well, and they got more than that too.
Yes, but he's the type of guy that you can look at and say that guy can carry you to a Final Four if he just gets hot. And he certainly can. I mean, we saw him go for 50 points in 50 minutes or 48 points in 50 minutes, whatever it was the other night.
I mean, that's second round, maybe.
Oh, you think a little? Okay. Okay.
It's hard because one more win and they're in the Sweet 16.
Yeah. Okay. Well, second round. That's all right.
They're Sweet 16-ish.
Okay.
I'm not going to box myself into them going on an Acuff heater.
All right. Let's go to a little closer to home for you.
Okay.
North Carolina, the Tar Heels. I know a lot of this depends on health, whether Caleb Wilson comes back.
Well,
or
he's
not.
coming back.
Do we know when?
But here's the thing.
Okay.
Are they defending? Carolina is built for a Sweet 16-ish type team.
Okay. So
there's their Sweet 16 team.
You think their run ends in the Sweet 16?
Because here's the thing though. They're going to be somebody's 5 or 6, and they're going to be a problem.
So currently, I'm glad you brought that up. Currently in bracket matrix, they are a 5.
Yeah.
They're in the bottom 2 5, so they're right on that 5-6 line.
Almost like I said, they're a 5-6.
That is not. I'm telling you, man. We've talked about this for a few weeks now.
You're trying to move the 2s off to the 3s.
The 5, 6, 7s are there's not a ton of difference, and none of them seem that fun to play.
Mm-hmm.
That is. I don't think getting to a 2 seed is going to be as rewarding as some people think. And I don't think getting to a 3 is nearly as damaging as some people think. I also, those 4-5 games are going to be insane.
Mm-hmm.
They're just going to be, currently we've got Kansas, Bama, Gonzaga, Virginia, Vanderbilt, Arkansas, North Carolina, Tennessee. Those are your current 4-5s.
So Tennessee without Ament. How about him can we just shout out Will Backus?
Shout out a couple of your boys.
Why do we want to shout out Will Backus?
You love Ament?
Yeah. I like the fact he liked guys that I like that a lot of other people don't bring up.
They're not like the popular guys.
He was
Burries.
dead on with Burries.
And he was on with Burries.
You know, the Ament thing I really liked. He knows about my guy Boopy.
Yep. Not Miles.
No, it's
I know.
with a P.
Yeah, I know.
Like punk. Like prima donna. So pretentious.
I do think,
and the word that you like, Shane, pumpernickel.
Big bread guy.
Come on, man.
I do think Tennessee might get bumped off that bottom.
I'm with
spot.
you.
So,
I agree with you.
So I mean, your 6 is one of these: St. John's, Louisville, BYU, or Kentucky probably moves into that last 5 spot. So I mean, pick one though. Those 4-5 games are nuts.
Yeah, they don't sound real appealing. Do you have another one for a run?
Yeah, I do. I have multiple more.
Why are you putting me on the hot seat?
North Carolina, because I like asking the questions. North Carolina, where did you put them?
Sweet 16.
Sweet 16. Okay. Their rival, Duke. What are we doing with Duke?
Duke can cut down the nets.
Okay. Where you tell me where it's ending?
Well,
I know what they're capable of.
Duke will probably be in my Final Four. After that, it's a crapshoot.
Okay. Final Four for Duke.
Yeah.
I'm
just telling you, Duke can just turn your water off.
Yeah.
They literally if they're they can literally just lock you up.
If you really put me to it, I'm taking.
What do you think that Carolina's line's going to be this weekend? 12?
Yeah, it's going to be double digits. Wasn't it double digits last time?
No, it was 6.5. I won a lunch from Dookie Clint.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, guess where I'm going?
Where?
At some point.
Your favorite place?
Nope. He gave me a $50 gift card to a sushi spot.
It's not where
So I went impractical. I'm like, yeah, I'm probably gonna be going by myself, so I'm gonna eat what I want.
you didn't get a you didn't get a gift card to the place. You took the fam with your winnings from me.
No, what a waste. Glad it was your money.
Kansas.
Tough one, Ravi. Very tough. I just can't see them in this fudge. So I get 16 teams in the Sweet 16, obviously. That's easy math. I'm going to play it safe, and I'm going to say Sweet 16.
Okay. One of your favorites, Virginia.
Boy.
How much did the Duke game spook you on them?
It's not. I've
Okay.
seen Duke do that.
Okay. So not concerned about
I
that.
mean,
at all.
Duke held Michigan to 63 points.
Yeah.
So
I think if I'm choosing between Duke, Michigan, and Arizona, I think I got to go Arizona.
I like Arizona too.
I think I got to go Arizona. I think the
LJ Kaysen thing is bigger than we might think. But that's not why.
Yeah.
I just like the way, although there is this Lloyd factor. In game. So what game were we watching over text together when I was like, you guys were making fun of their shot selection? And I'm like, you guys, this is what Arizona does though sometimes. Was it Kansas?
Kansas?
It was some ridiculous where they just played dumb basketball.
Was it Kansas or Texas Tech?
I don't know. But I'd seen it too often.
Yeah.
Lloyd bugs me a little. Now he's not, I don't hate on him like you do Underwood, but at some point he's got to win some of these.
Mm-hmm. He's still, relatively young as a head coach. This is his 5th year, right?
Yeah.
So I for that, I give it a little bit of a pass.
I like Arizona. And now that they're healthy,
yeah,
that front court is a load.
Yeah.
I mean, they run 4 big bodies at you.
Yeah.
You know, and they'll touch you, and they get to play in a conference that breeds physicality.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I think Arizona. I think Arizona's. If I had to pick today, Arizona's probably my national champion.
I need to ask my Duke fans that actually like watch and aren't just like Duke fans.
Mm-hmm.
Like who's the next guy? Is it Evans? Is it Brown?
Like who are you most comfortable with?
I don't think they trust Sarr offensively.
I don't think so.
Don't they need another guy in the backcourt?
I think so. That's why I take Arizona over Duke. They have 2 guys. I don't love Bradley all the time.
I don't love Michigan's backcourt either,
So
but they
that's,
can
again,
play 3 guards, 4 guards.
In terms of the way it ends up getting the game gets
like who's Michigan's shot maker?
So that's what I was just gonna say. In the terms of the way the game ends up being played in March, Michigan doesn't really have that guy. Like Michigan doesn't have a guy.
I just don't think it's Cadone.
And you could
I've watched him. He'll take the shots.
Yeah. You could make the argument. Not even the argument. Arizona's got 2.
Mm.
Do any of the other top teams have 2?
No.
Because you'll take Bradley and Burries, right?
Yeah.
Bradley's. I don't love his shot selection all the time, but like
Bradley's nuts, but he'll take him.
He's capable and he'll make a lot.
Yeah,
of them.
he makes big shots.
Yes, like he is. Like he's kind of that guy.
Yeah, and then I think
obviously
the only other team that's really in that discussion, especially if they get good Boogie Flan. I've said it all year, so you're not surprised.
Yeah.
I even told when they had 5 losses, I was like, look, man, they were like 9-5.
Yeah, and you've been on
their
Boogie
backcourt
Flan
is
for a while.
Their backcourt is coming together. Florida belongs in the discussion.
I just for my peace of mind, I need to
look at Boogie. You're not going to love his numbers.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
they're worse. The shooting's worse than I thought it was. From 3 is worse than I
from
thought.
Boogie.
Yeah.
Oh, can I guess?
Yeah.
Boogie Flan.
Because it wasn't horrifying last year at Arkansas.
Dude, if Lipsy's 27-7, Boogie Flan has to be a 26% 3-point shooter.
You're high.
No, you're exactly right.
High.
Yeah, it's not good. What is it?
21.
Yeah.
Or 21-7.
I mean, it's not his game. He's going to get in the paint. Yeah. He's chaotic.
But he shot 34% last year. Like 34% from him this year, like that's scary.
I know, but that that front court is so good.
And he took more last year. That's what I don't understand.
And dude, their coach, he's He's about that life.
No, Golden's, yeah.
I told you. He told Cal, he said, sit the flip down. Cal said, what'd you say to me? I said, ooh, they got this thing mic'd up.
All right. Last but not least.
What?
The Nebraska Cornhuskers. Where does their season end?
That is, man, it's a Sweet 16 team.
That's kind of where I think I'm landing.
They are going to be a measurable scout.
Mm-hmm.
But so here, the one thing that scares me is they've been real light switchy,
especially offensively. Like they,
so I just don't know if you can. Will they on a good defensive night? Will you be good enough to keep it close while your offense, if your offense gets a little boggy?
Yeah,
because they don't get a ton of easy shots.
That's the thing that I'm starting. Like my ceiling for them has dropped a little because as we've gotten into the last third of the season,
offense just doesn't get vertical enough.
They don't get vertical enough. They don't get easy shots. It seems like everything they make is they have to work incredibly hard for. Not as, I mean, considering the level of team they are, in context here.
Did I nail the whole backing down, slowing that offense down out of the post?
Yeah.
He just, and now everybody's mad at him. It's like, you're not playing to your strengths when you allow him to do that.
No,
that's why I'm like, it's just more than just scoring with him.
Yeah, I would much rather him have the ball at the elbow.
And I'd like to say we were ahead of the game on that.
I think so, yeah. I mean, that was the conversation with Michigan, right? And coming off of the Michigan game where he's obviously not healthy, and he comes back a couple games later and it's like, oh, I kind of need that scoring from him. It's like I need the playmaking from him. But
if Nebraska plays a team, like there's some teams that just will be bad matchups. Like elite level athleticism on the perimeter will be tough.
Although I will say, I thought USC was a great matchup for them.
So
because of how they play.
But the thing about, UCLA doesn't have, this is going to sound awful. I don't know how else to say it though. USC's basketball IQ is really poor.
Yes. That's part of the reason I like the matchup.
It's just really,
because
really
despite
poor.
The length and athleticism, I didn't think they were going to play smart enough to be able to take advantage of it.
How do you forget that Woods plays for you?
Yeah, that'd be good to know.
Like just the low, just the low IQ.
This is why I'm not.
If Nebraska plays a team that is dribble penetration heavy, like I'm going to take Nebraska 90% of the time.
100%. Yeah. Like I agree.
So
100%.
they need the right match. Now they get at anything with athletic bigs where they space you, they're in trouble.
Yeah, they are. Yes.
But so are a lot of teams.
I'll say that's a common Achilles heel.
But in particular them.
I don't think Nebraska has an answer for it.
Because then, the fleet of foot and rotations will be so critical. So when you have bigger guys that can pass and are shooting threats, the way Nebraska, the no middle is not as near as effective.
Yeah. It compromises in a
Yeah,
hurry.
because they throw over you or they skip you.
And then they can attack closeouts, and it's the no middle is fine and good as long as you don't have to close out hard.
Yeah, just envision the first that half against Illinois.
Yeah, for sure. All right, that is.
And Illinois is not even physical.
That's my list.
That's it?
Yeah, I gave you 8 teams.
I feel like we stretched Will a ton, but one team I wanted to ask about again that I've been hinting around. They're in your conference.
Villanova?
Yeah. Do they have? Is it Xavier Seton Hall or Villanova? There's a little sneaky good Big East matchup today.
It's not. Villanova doesn't play till tomorrow.
Is it Xavier and Seton Hall?
DePaul. Let me see here. Xavier Seton Hall.
Is that today?
I thought they weren't playing until Wednesday. I could be wrong.
I feel like there's a lot of speculating on your part.
Yeah, Xavier Seton Hall is tonight.
Okay.
Because Georgetown St. John's is certainly not interesting.
Yeah, you wackadoodle. I knew that was tonight.
1.5 points, Seton Hall favorite at Cincinnati.
Huh. At the old Cintas Center?
Yeah.
1.5?
1.5 Seton Hall. Feel like it should be more.
Kind of weird.
Yeah. It's a weird
what's Kim Pom give that for home court advantage?
Kenneth Pomeroy has Xavier as a 3.6, so just above UCLA on their advantage. They've got it a 1-point game.
Do I do a little later dinner?
Maybe if you're staying up. 10 p.m. tip for Nebraska UCLA.
Yeah.
Maybe. What time do you usually eat dinner?
Any time between 5:35 and 6:15.
Okay. So you're pretty, I mean, that's a pretty small window.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what are you thinking? Like maybe 6:45?
7.
7?
7's pushing it for me.
How does that work with
Bella?
With Zoe?
Zoe comes home and she eats a snack. Zoe stays busy, so she can eat whenever. But she's in bed. She's in bed at 8:10. So I prefer to not have her eat that late.
Hot danger. Not all Big East teams are losing in the first round. UConn's not losing in the first round.
So I'm surprised people are down on UConn. Have they not seen peak UConn?
UConn's pretty good.
UConn's good.
Yeah, UConn's pretty good. UConn
is. I don't.
They're definitely a tier below the.
They're one of my 7.
Yeah, but they're definitely a tier below. I mean, everybody's a tier below the Duke, Michigan, Arizona, I think. But they're in that next group.
Florida's not far. Florida's not far. Now, I'm not going to fight you over a tier.
Yeah.
But it isn't like
I think the next
steps in Indiana's press box, which are like 6 feet. It's more like a little step.
I think the next group is Florida, Houston, UConn.
Okay. So we go Arizona, Michigan, Duke, same.
Yep.
And then who?
Florida, Houston, UConn. I think that's my next group.
Yeah, you might have a little recency yuck mouth with Iowa State.
I do. I have a bad
tasty.
taste in my mouth like that. Last couple games I have not in.
There's not a ton of difference for me between Iowa State and Houston, and I like Whitney.
Yeah, I think for me the Flemings is a huge differentiator there, and I can't get over it.
I'm surprised you like him as much as you do.
I like him as
he's pretty frenetic for you.
I like him as this works.
And he shoots mid-range jump shots.
I know, but I like mid-rangers.
No, you said you wouldn't be surprised for it to make a comeback. You have at no point said, I like mid-range jump shooting.
I like the art of it, number one. Being able to do it is important. I like guys that can do it in tournament settings because people will take away the other stuff, right? So being able to do that in a tournament setting is really, really important. It's the same thing you see in the NBA playoffs where there are certain teams that go super heavy into the analytics, really struggle in the playoffs because then they can't do anything with the stuff people are conceding.
You see what Chucky Chuck said?
What do we got? Solo ball isn't good enough.
I've been asking about solo ball for 7 weeks. But I kind of disagree. I know why he said that.
Okay.
I disagree though. The thing about it, solo ball is plenty good enough. Solo ball shot selection sucks.
Yes.
So if solo ball is playing under control with his shots, they're fine. I'm telling you. It's his.
No, his shot selection is terrible.
He takes he does some weird stuff, but he's good enough.
Here's the other part of that
But
equation.
I do get the because you don't because you guys kill him in the group chat too.
I'm not a solo ball guy either. Here's the thing that makes the difference with
DeMarinis isn't either, is he?
I don't think so. Here's the difference for UConn with me is solo ball doesn't have to be that guy.
I know, but you just see him come down it's just like I don't know. And remember, he went on like that 4 week. He went on like a month stretch where he was shooting the ball at like a 39% clip from 3.
And he's at 30 on the season, basically. But you've got Demery, Mullins, Caravan. That changes that equation for me for UConn.
Yeah.
Solo ball is less important to UConn than some of these other high-profile guys are to their teams. UConn can serve because of the way they're constructed, and I'm just talking about.
Yeah, I wouldn't start with ball not being good enough. I would maybe start if I was sitting down with Chuck and we were having a Cobb salad. I would be like, Chuck, is UConn physical enough?
Yeah, are they tough enough? I think we assume they are because it's UConn, and I don't.
That's where I would probably start.
I'm just gonna be honest.
You think Chuck would eat a Cobb salad? Cobb salad's got a lot of meat.
I don't think you're gonna eat a Cobb salad.
I like a good Cobb salad.
Okay,
chef salad's better.
Similar print. Maybe that's what I mean. Which one has the 3 meats and the boiled eggs?
Chef usually.
Chef?
Yeah.
That's probably what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. I think Cobb usually has like an apple on it
I like apples.
in your salad. I'm not a big fruit in my salad guy.
Me neither.
I'm not doing that.
But I'd eat an apple.
Separately, sure. Not doing that together.
Yeah, my man, Big Red Gun. I usually rock with him. He doesn't really like UConn.
That's fine. And listen,
Big Red Gun, you with me on Iowa State? He said more of a Caesar guy.
I do. I like Caesar. I'm a big Caesar salad guy.
It always goes back to food. Who likes Iowa State with me still? Don't get back on the bandwagon because all you guys are falling off of Iowa State. So I want all the Iowa State people to raise their hand. I'm still in on Iowa State.
If you're rocking with Iowa State, please stand up. You
talking.
already were standing up. It's all right. No, I'm not.
Okay, Big Red Gun's on me. He's with me.
Good enough for what? To win a title? I don't think they're good enough to win a title. I think I'm out on them winning a title.
Well, all these teams are kind of flawed.
No, I understand that. I can't unsee certain things, man. I just can't do it. Iowa State, I've seen struggle too much recently for me to feel good about it.
Yeah. So amazing, Daniel. I love Greek, but if I'm eating Greek, I guarantee you I'm not getting a salad.
I don't like Greek salad.
I'm
You
eating
got like
15 pounds of Euro meat.
Euro meat's phenomenal. Greek salad, those are the ones with olives, right? I'm out on olives. I don't do olives.
No, I know. See, Chuck, I get it.
That's
with the Lipsy thing.
So
no, I get it. I get it.
Iowa State doesn't have,
but he is kind of clutch.
He is, but to me, I don't feel as good.
Did you watch him down the stretch against Houston?
Yeah, I watched him down the stretch against
He was
Houston.
pretty good.
But
he missed his free throws.
So that's like, I don't trust him. Like there's other guys on similar teams that I trust more to do the thing that needs done in tournament games. And Lipsy just doesn't do it for me. Can't get there.
Maybe we should invite Chuck and Big Red Gun to our basketball chats.
Basketball chats? Maybe we could have them to our
I mean, I don't know. Them guys probably ain't texting at like 12:30 at night though.
We can maybe invite them to, and all of our listeners to our tournament watch party.
Yeah, where's Prison Balls?
We doing one of those again this year, Sash? Yeah. Thursday, sports bar.
Last time I did that, I ended up buying a Weber grill from somebody. I left at like 4. I left at like 4 and bought a Weber kettle grill from a guy in Bellevue.
I don't think you can blame that on the watch party.
No, I just remember that day vividly.
I thought you were like, I'm not going again. I can't afford to buy another grill.
Yeah, he lived far. He was like out by Mission Middle School.
Kenny says he's a German potato salad guy.
Oh man, isn't Kenny like 270?
That's what he said in the chat the other day.
What is German potato salad?
I don't know.
I don't like potato salad.
I do like potato salad, but I don't know what the German part is.
Potato salad's fire.
You know whose you'd like, and I'm sure he considers himself a good cook, so I'm not going to comment on that. But Severe actually makes a good potato salad.
Oh, really?
It has some bite to it.
A little bit of bite.
I ate it on accident because I did not want to be rude. And he would have called me, oh, just try. He's a try it guy.
Yeah.
Like,
just give it a try.
Well, and I mean, he's right, though. Like, how do you know you don't if you don't try it? And I was like, this is kind of sneaky good.
Yeah. I like a good potato
maybe
salad.
It was like, did he use a smoked paprika? There was something on the top.
Yeah. Some people do that. Some people hit
that was really, it wasn't just paprika. I think it was either. Anyway. Yeah, the Lipsy thing bugs me a smidge.
I'm a big
and I used to honk for this dude.
Amazing Daniel says loves.
Dang, down at 260. Go, Kenny.
Attaboy, Kenny.
Hey, Kenny, what's your target? Because he's always talking about like health consumption. Like
yeah.
So this must be intentional.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't want to see him in like 3 weeks and he's like 220. And I was like, hey man, what's wrong? He's like, oh, man, low blood cell count. Like, damn, Kenny, sorry.
Yeah, no one do that. Amazing Daniel's big on the feta. I like feta a lot. I like feta cheese. I'm out on the olives.
So I got some. I have a homemade feta deal you can do, Daniel, where you whip that thing like butter and add some jalapenos and a little olive oil with some Greek seasoning, and it's a game changer. Damn, 210. You and me both, Kenny.
Let's go, buddy. I'll meet you down there,
dude. That was Burrs told me he could get to 215.
Yeah,
210. Go, buddy.
Ideally, I'd like to get under 200, but we'll see what happens.
No, wedges are overrated.
Not a wedge guy.
Dr. Stark.
Big wedge guy?
Huge wedge salad guy.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
We went to Charleston. This dude said, yeah, I'll order a wedge. I take a wedge salad. I'm like, really? All the things you can get?
You know what they have there that I like that I don't order almost anywhere else?
Salmon.
Nope.
Baked potato.
Nope.
Is it a protein?
Yep. It's one of their entrees.
Oh, it's what I get.
Pork chops?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the best protein on their menu.
Yep. And they consistently cook it really, really.
And it's big.
Yeah, it's because it's like two of them, right?
Yeah,
It's they consistently cook it very well.
It's big.
Yeah.
All right, so we got more guys that we're gonna have to our watch party.
Big Red Gun. Why can't you talk about salads? Come on, man.
I like him.
Can't be so insecure.
He's got good basketball takes.
Yeah,
we need where Prison Balls took the day off today.
He must. He's in and out sometimes.
All right.
Have to see what he have to have him. He'd like it. It was a big heavy basketball show today. He'd like today.
Yeah, and we forgot to tell JD that we're previewing Big Ten, the wrestling tournament. Is that Thursday?
Yeah, we got Jess on Thursday.
Yeah, what's tomorrow? Wednesday?
I think so.
Tomorrow's a crapshoot.
We'll see what happens. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. Hurrdat Sports Live.